Chapter 388. The speed of the 5-star battle disc was incomparably fast, and in just a short time, it was already far away from the Jab's line of defense. At the same time, Sifting Orchid's voice sounded out once again, "The location of the Feral Brook Mountain is unclear, please give us a clear location." "I know where the Feral Brook Mountain is, but Big Brother Ning, should I cook something for you to eat first?" Lei could also feel that Ning Cheng was recovering very quickly, causing her to breathe a sigh of relief, but the first thing that came to her mind was to get something for Ning Cheng to eat. As for going to the Feral Brook Mountain earlier or later, it didn't matter. Ning Cheng knew that the battle disc did not know anything about the Feral Brook Mountain. The reason why he did not forcibly call out to Lei was that he might need Lei's help. "Lei, I'm not hungry right now. Give me the sketch of the Feral Brook Mountain, then I will find a place to put you down. After I leave, I don't know when I will come back, so you don't have to come with me." Taking several medicinal pills in succession, coupled with his imperial body, Ning Cheng's body quickly recovered. Now that he heard that Lei really knew the way to the Feral Brook Mountain, he hurriedly said. Lei turned silent, before she took out a map from her bosom and handed it to Ning Cheng and spoke, "The Feral Brook Mountain is on it, you can take a look at it yourself." Ning Cheng did not look at the map, he put the map aside and spoke, "Sifting Orchid, find an open place to stop, and let Lei go down." The battle disc soon stopped at the outskirts of a city. After opening the door, Sifting Orchid did not immediately leave. She looked at Ning Cheng for a good while before she spoke, "Big Brother Ning, I'm sorry, this time I have implicated you. However, I am very grateful to you. Without you, not to mention the Jab's line of defense, even the humans inside the line of defense would have faced destruction. I will always remember everything you have done for us. Lei, I was just doing it out of convenience. Moreover, the Insect Queen is still alive. You can rest assured that after my injuries are healed, I will definitely go and kill that insect." Ning Cheng was slightly infected by Lei. His intention to kill the insects was not as simple as Lei's. Lei was the truly fearless human being. However, his promise to kill the heavily injured insect before he left was indeed not for himself. If it was for himself, there was no need for him to go anymore. Because he knew very well that he couldn't tame that bug, let alone take it away. "Thank you, Big Brother Ning." Lei stared at Ning Cheng without blinking. Ning Cheng felt a bit embarrassed, but did not know what to say. Lei didn't have a spirit root. If she had a spirit root, he would let Lei help Dai Xian, and at the same time, cultivate. Lei's innocence made Ning Cheng feel ashamed. After a good while, Lei slowly spoke up, "I have a hunch that after Big Brother Ning kills that huge insect, he will disappear from our sight. Perhaps we will never meet again." Ning Cheng remained silent. He had never thought that Lei's premonition would be so accurate. Seeing Ning Cheng remain silent, Lei knew that her words were not wrong. She looked at Ning Cheng's severely injured waist and whispered, "Actually, I wanted to wait for you to kill the Insect Queen, and then give myself to you. Not to be with you, not to thank you. But because I like what you said. A woman's most precious thing should be given to the person she truly loves." After saying these words, Lei exhaled, and her complexion also became a lot more cheerful. "Big Brother Ning, I know that I am not worthy of you, but after saying these words, I feel a lot more comfortable in my heart." After saying that, Lei walked towards the hatch. She felt very comfortable, at least during the entire process of Ning Cheng killing the insect. She was at his side, at least she was able to say her own words. "Lei." Ning Cheng called out to Lei, "I will not say anything else, but we will not meet again." Lei turned around, her face had a relaxed expression, which meant that she knew. "I want to give you a suggestion, do not go to the Jab's line of defense in the future. If you can, withdraw from the alliance. As for the matter of the insect, it will be solved. The alliance is not suitable for people like you to stay." Ning Cheng slowly spoke. Ning Cheng thought about these words for a long time. He guessed that Lei would not withdraw from the alliance, but he could not help but say it out loud. "I know," even if you did not say it, I would not stay in the alliance. After you refused to go to the Jab's line of defense to heal, I understood a lot of things. You do not have to worry, I am not as stupid as you think. Yi Lei smiled. Ning Qing sighed, took out a short sword and a book, and handed it to Yi Lei and spoke, "This is an essence weapon, you take it, do not let others see it. There is also this book, it is a martial cultivation method that I obtained from another place, I wrote it down when I had nothing to do. You do not have a spiritual root, as such I do not know if you can cultivate this martial cultivation method or not. If you cannot cultivate it, then you can just burn it in the future. Thank you for looking at me in a different light, but I already have a wife." Yi Lei grabbed the short sword and the book given to her by Ning Qing, as she looked at the disappearing black flying saucer, and finally could not help but blur her eyes. She had fallen in love with this man the moment he had rushed towards the insect queen. There was no reason, no process, it was just that simple. When the man had been swatted away by the insect queen, she had wished that she was the one who had been injured. However, from the beginning to the end, she was very clear that this man did not belong to her. She really did not know what kind of woman his wife would turn out to be. In a very inconspicuous place at the top of the Wild Brooch Mountain, there was a ring, which was concealed by a concealment restriction. This was Ning Cheng's miniature world. Ning Cheng had stayed in this miniature world for 10 days, during these 10 days, his injuries had long since healed. Although there was still some distance between his body refining and the rank 6 imperial body, but because of this battle, he had taken a step forward compared to before. Ning Cheng did not come out of the miniature world. He was still restoring his cultivation inside the miniature world. Knowing that Earth was not as stable as he had imagined, Ning Cheng immediately wanted to restore his cultivation. At this moment, his cultivation had already recovered to the 9th level of the Essence Soul realm. Another week passed by. When Ning Cheng's cultivation began to stagnate, he gave out a long sigh. His cultivation had completely recovered, reaching the 4th level of Soul Sculpting realm. Although his cultivation had recovered, Ning Cheng still did not come out of the miniature world. Instead, he took out the 36 small axes. These 36 axes were specially crafted by Tsang Wei for him, 18 of them were Cosmic True Axes and 18 of them were Extreme Devil True Axes. Not only that, these 36 small axes were all top-grade true artifacts. In the Tian continent, even a single best-grade true weapon was priceless, let alone 36 best-grade true weapons. If not for Ning Cheng's powerful spiritual consciousness, he would not have been able to control these 36 best-quality true artifacts. Even if these 36 axes were specially crafted by Tsang Wei for Ning Cheng, it still took Ning Cheng a full week to refine them. A week later, 18 golden axe shadows and 18 black axe shadows revolved around Ning Cheng's body. Feeling the formidable power of these 36 axes, Ning Cheng's confidence greatly increased. Once these 36 axes formed an axe array, coupled with his axe intent, it would definitely turn into a great killing weapon. If he had to deal with the insect queen at this time, Ning Cheng believed that even if he did not use the spiritual artifact net to self-destruct, he would still be able to inflict serious damage to that huge insect queen. Ning Cheng left the miniature world and came outside. Under the stimulation of several spiritual consciousness methods, the 36 small axes transformed into a yellow and black axe line. The surrounding air was instantly locked down by this axe line. The next moment, the axe line blasted out a nearly 100 feet long ravine on the summit of the Wild Dragon Mountain. Ning Cheng sucked in a mouthful of cold air. Was this not his angry axe, the first trace? The angry axe, the first trace, could also be displayed in such a way, which was even more powerful than the method he had used in the past. Ning Cheng, with a heroic spirit in his heart, once again waved his hand, and the 36 axe shadows simultaneously drew an imperceptible arc, as it rolled out a twisting axe shadow. The surrounding air began to show faint cracks. It could be imagined that any life form would not be able to survive under these cracks. This was the angry axe's third form, axe line. This third form was displayed in this way, and the killing intent was even more fierce. Along with Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness, these axe lines instantly rolled up into a huge whirlpool. Just like a tornado whistling out, the ravine that was split open by the first trace, under the killing force of this tornado, disappeared in an instant. It was as if a huge shovel had just been shoveled out. Bang! The tornado finally gathered together, and exploded on the ground. The hard rocks on the ground turned into ashes, and turned into a yellow fog. Angry Axe's second form, Tornado. The 36 best quality true artifacts combined to form a killing force. Even if it was the same move, it was more than 10 times stronger than before. Ning Qing stood at the top of the mountain and gave out a long and loud roar. He finally had a foothold to stand on. As long as he could learn this spiritual technique, even if he had to face a crucible transformation cultivator, he would have the confidence to speak. Even if he was not an opponent, he could still calmly walk away. Chapter 389. With his cultivation restored, and the 36 small axes also finished being refined, Ning Cheng's heart finally calmed down. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out in a wide range. He wanted to see what kind of good things the Pharaoh Brook Mountain had in the end that could allow that scarlet-robed man's cultivation to progress so quickly. One had to know that the spiritual qi on the earth was scarce. If there were no truly good things, then even if this scarlet-robed man's qualifications were high, it would still be impossible for him to cultivate to the peak of the profound congealing realm in just a few decades. This was not the I Ching mainland, where one could cultivate to this level with just a little bit of aptitude. But after 2 hours, Ning Cheng was somewhat disappointed. The Pharaoh Brook Mountain was only 100 miles in circumference. Moreover, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had repeatedly swept through the area, but he couldn't find anything good. He couldn't even find a single spiritual grass. It seemed that the scarlet-robed man had deceived him. If the scarlet-robed man didn't have some other secret to his cultivation, then the Pharaoh Brook Mountain was not the place where the scarlet-robed man's cultivation speed was the fastest. Ning Cheng was not too disappointed. He had a lot of good things. If he could find them, then it would be his luck. If he could not find them, then it would not matter. After recovering his strength, the first thing Ning Cheng wanted to do was to exterminate that giant insect. The longer this dragged on, the more disadvantageous it would be for him. That insect queen definitely didn't have as many resources as he did to recover from his injuries and cultivation. This was the best time to find the insect queen. With Ning Cheng's current cultivation at the 4th level of soul sculpting realm, he still did not have the means to sweep out his spiritual consciousness across the entire earth. As such, he could only rely on the help of the 5-star battle disc. The 5-star battle disc quickly found the meteorite within the Russian Empire's territory, while simultaneously discovering the location of the insect queen. In just over half an hour, the 5-star battle disc finally landed in the middle of this barren desert. Ning Cheng put away the battle disc, and saw a huge mountain-like meteorite in front of him. This meteorite was full of bumps and hollows, just like a honeycomb. Countless bugs attached themselves to this huge meteorite. What made Ning Cheng puzzled was that other than some small insects attached to the meteorites, there were no other demon insects nearby. It seemed that any demonic insect that could move independently was not allowed to stay near this meteorite. As soon as Ning Cheng arrived, the huge insect queen in the meteorite immediately discovered him. The insect queen immediately roared and emerged from the top of the meteorite. Ning Cheng waved his hand, and 36 small axes immediately appeared around his body, while at the same time Ning Cheng also grasped the long spear that he was unable to refine. Although his cultivation had soared, while the strength of the insect queen had declined, Ning Cheng did not show any carelessness. Before this insect queen landed on Earth, it was definitely a terrifying existence. Ning Cheng feared that even a crucible transformation cultivator would only be an ant in front of this insect queen. In the face of such a terrifying existence, how could Ning Cheng dare to be careless? A starving camel was still bigger than a horse. Not to mention, not only did the insect queen not starve to death, it even had a nest here. The insect queen stared at Ning Cheng and roared in anger, as if to say that Ning Cheng was a busybody. Ning Cheng did not care about the insect queen's roar, as the 36 small axes in his hands gave off a whistling sound as they tore through the air. In just a twinkling of an eye, an axe line of intersecting black and white lines appeared. Bang! The intersecting black and white axe lines exploded on top of the huge meteorite, unexpectedly causing Ning Cheng's 36 small axes to scatter. Even the indomitable killing force also dissipated without a trace. Ning Cheng stared at the meteorite in shock. Even if it was a hard meteorite, under his first trace, it would still turn into powder. However, this meteorite was not damaged in the slightest. Not only that, but it had also shattered his small axe. This was definitely not a meteorite, but rather a magical weapon. Ning Cheng had just realized that this was a magical weapon when he felt the insect queen's imposing manner crazily rising. Soon, the imposing manner of the insect queen completely disintegrated his imposing manner. As the formidable imposing manner assaulted him, Ning Cheng's complexion turned pale as he retreated a few dozen steps. This kind of imposing manner, even he had never seen it coming from a crucible transformation cultivator. However, elder brother Tsang Wei's body gave him this kind of imposing manner. This was definitely an imposing manner that came from outside the starry skies. Today is not going to be good. Ning Cheng tightly grasped the long spear as he stared at the insect queen on top of the meteorite. In the face of this imposing manner, he simply could not come forward. If it were any other place, Ning Cheng would have already prepared the talisman to go to the Yixing mainland. But now that Ruolan was still here, he absolutely could not leave. Just as Ning Cheng was racking his brains, trying to think of a way to deal with this insect queen, the huge meteorite suddenly started to rotate. At the same time, it gave off a buzzing sound. This really was a magical weapon. Ning Cheng had just thought of this, when a powerful imposing manner, to the point that he almost could not breathe, blasted towards him, causing Ning Cheng to spit out a mouthful of blood. He did not even think about it, as he stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, and instantly escaped. Ning Cheng only stopped when he was more than 10 miles away. The oppressive imposing manner in this place had already reduced a lot. Just by relying on its imposing manner, this insect queen was simply heaven-defying. Even if he knew that he was not an opponent for the insect queen, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness still kept a close eye on the insect queen on top of the meteorite. He was sure that this was a secret technique used by the insect queen to stimulate its vitality, otherwise, an injured insect queen would not be this powerful. As long as he waited for the power of this secret technique to pass, he would then have the absolute upper hand. From the moment that the insect queen did not dare to leave the meteorite to attack him, Ning Cheng knew that this insect queen would have to use this meteorite to activate its secret technique, otherwise, it would not be able to display its full power. However, the meteorite was spinning faster and faster, to the point that even Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could not keep up with it. After a few breaths, the insect queen suddenly burst out with an ear-piercing screech, while simultaneously standing up from the meteorite, it opened its mouth wide and bit into the air. A dark passage, bitten open by the insect queen, appeared within the range of Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness. Sensing the vast aura of the starry skies, Ning Cheng looked at this dark passage in shock. Although he had never tore through the void before, he knew that this definitely tore through the void domain. Under the effect of the insect queen's secret technique, it could actually tear through the void domain. Just how terrifying was this existence? Even if the void domain on Earth was weak, it was not something that could be easily torn apart. If the last time he fought against the insect queen, if the insect queen could activate this secret technique, then even if he had 100 lives, he would not have been able to survive. Some scattered spatial wind edges flew down from the void, and one of them shot towards Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng did not dare to block it with his long spear, and directly brought out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Catcha, a sound emerged, and the everlasting Blue Thunder City directly turned into nothingness under the spatial wind edges. At this time, Ning Cheng saw the meteorite carrying the insect queen and the countless insects rush into the black hole of nothingness at the speed of a meteor, disappearing in just a twinkling of an eye. After the meteorite carrying the insect queen disappeared, the pitch black hole also disappeared. The surroundings turned quiet, as if nothing had happened. Ning Cheng's back oozed with cold sweat. He did not expect that after the insect queen arrived at the meteorite's nest, it would unexpectedly tear through the void and escape. Fortunately, the insect queen's secret technique required the help of a meteorite-type weapon. Otherwise, he would not have come here to kill the insect queen, but rather to die. Although the insect queen left, there were still many insects on Earth. Ning Qing did not continue to kill these insects. He knew that without the insect queen, these insects would not be able to cause any damage to the major lines of defense, and would sooner or later be destroyed by the martial artists. See Capital Foreign Languages Academy, Girls' Dormitory Building 7, downstairs. Some well-dressed boys stood here in high spirits, some of them even holding a bouquet of flowers in their hands. Obviously, the boys standing here were waiting for their girlfriends. Ning Qing walked to the management auntie downstairs and politely asked, "Auntie, please help me call Su Li from room 302. The reason why he wanted to look for Su Li was that Su Li had helped him once. Before he left, it was only right for him to come and say hello. "Are you looking for Su Li?" The auntie had not yet answered, when a crisp voice sounded out from beside Ning Qing. Ning Qing turned around and saw a fair-skinned girl, holding a few books in her hands and wearing a bow on her head, giving her a very spirited look. "Yes, I'm looking for Su Li." Ning Qing quickly replied. "Elder brother Xiaocheng, you really came." A surprised voice sounded out. Ning Qing had already seen Su Li coming over. The girl holding the books looked at Su Li and smiled. "I was going to take him to see you, your eyes are quite sharp. Is this your boyfriend?" Saying that, the girl looked at Ning Qing from top to bottom. She felt that Ning Qing did not have anything special about him, even his clothes were very ordinary, but he had a different temperament. As for what was different about him, she could not tell. "That's right, I'm leaving. You helped me last time, so before I leave, I came here to thank you," Ning Qing said. Su Li quickly spoke up, "You don't need to thank me for such a small thing. Elder brother Xiaocheng, you finally came here with great difficulty, let's go eat together. Last time because of some things, I was not able to go, but this time I must definitely go. No, there is a pill here, it can help you retain your youthful looks, I'll give it to you as thanks. I'm leaving." Ning Qing did not even say goodbye. He knew that this meeting would definitely be indefinite, as such saying goodbye would not make any sense. Grabbing a jade bottle, looking at Ning Cheng's disappearing figure, Su Li muttered, "Sure enough, I really did not make a mistake last time." Ning Cheng had suddenly disappeared, as if he had never come here. "Hey, where's your friend?" The girl holding the book stared at the place where Ning Cheng stood in surprise. Where was Ning Cheng's shadow? Chapter 390. Big Brother, You're Back. Her big brother had left for more than 10 days, and now that he had returned, Ning Rulan was pleasantly surprised. Ning Qing patted the head of Grey Toot Toot who had just jumped over, and spoke to Ning Rulan, "That's right, everything is done. We're getting ready to go. Where's Dai Xen?" Dai Xen moved the company to Jiangzhou. She is also in Jiangzhou. Ning Rulan quickly spoke up. Then, Ning Rulan spoke about Yan Rui's provocation. Regarding Yan Rui being killed by Yi Hui, Ning Qing simply did not care about it. What he was worried about was that Xing Liang. In this place, no matter how powerful Xing Liang was, he did not take him seriously. At best, he was just an ant. But now that he was leaving, would Xing Liang find trouble with Dai Xian after giving her so many Dharma artifacts to sell? Did Xing Liang come? Ning Qing did not feel relieved and asked. He didn't come. I heard from Delandi that Xing Liang went missing in the insect battlefield. Most likely, he died. Ning Rulan replied. She knew that this Xing Liang was not polite to her big brother. It was just that this person didn't really come looking for him. Perhaps he was really dead. Ning Qing had no way to find out if Xing Liang was dead or not. The earth was simply too big, and with his current spiritual consciousness, he was still unable to sweep through the entire earth. Call Dai Xian and ask her to pay attention to Xing Liang. We'll be leaving soon. Ning Qing somewhat missed Ji Luofei and Shi Qianghua. Now that he had found his younger sister, he really did not want to waste any more time in this place. Ning Rulan had already prepared for this. Hearing her big brother's words, she immediately called Dai Xian. Although Dai Xian was somewhat reluctant, she was the one who had the clearest idea as to where Ning Qing wanted to go. She knew that for Ning Qing, staying on Earth would only be a waste of time. An hour later, Ning Rulan handed over the matters of the hotel to the person in charge here, before entering the miniature world with Grey Toot Toot and following Ning Qing out of the 100 Bay Point. Inside a very ordinary coffee shop in Luotsang, Yi Lei calmly looked at Tian Mu Wan sitting opposite her. She had already left the alliance and returned home to cultivate. Tian Mu Wan being able to find this place, she did not find it strange. With the power of the Tian family, it was not difficult to find a person with a bit of fame like her. What she found strange was, why was Tian Mu Wan looking for her? She had only heard of Tian Mu Wan before, but did not know much about her. As for why Ning Qing wanted to save Tian Mu Wan, she did not think much about it. In her opinion, Ning Qing's heart was still very kind. If he was not kind, then Ning Qing would not have fought against the countless insects because of her request, and even almost lost his life. At this time, Ilay had already washed away those miscellaneous things, and her daily life was very regular. In addition to reading books, she also cultivated the martial arts that Ning Qing had left for her. She was very grateful to Ning Qing, but she did not know what kind of cultivation method Ning Qing had given her. The speed of her cultivation couldn't be described as 1,000 miles in a day. She was growing stronger by a level with each passing day. This cultivation method seemed to be naturally made for her. She could cultivate it with ease, without any bottlenecks. She could leap through any obstacles in one go. In the short span of a month, she believed that her strength had already leaped from a 2-star battle general to a 1-star battle marshal. There was no way to describe this, it was just a kind of intuition. Seeing that Yi Lei, who was dressed in casual attire, did not ask her anything, Tian Mu Wan took the initiative to speak up. "I was looking for you to ask you a few things." Yi Lei nodded and spoke. "If you are asking about who saved you that day, then I really do know. Ning Qing saved you, and then I sent you to your hotel room." Tian Mu Wan indeed came to inquire about this matter. Although she was sure that it was Ning Qing who saved her, she still wanted to confirm it with Yi Lei. Because she had heard that when Ning Qing left that day, Yi Lei had also left together with Ning Qing. Now that she heard Yi Lei's affirmative answer, she opened her mouth, while her heart felt as if a bottle of 5 flavors had been knocked over. After leaving the Qing Rulan Hotel, she had also thought of looking for Ning Qing to thank him, but her pride did not allow her to do so. Although she knew that she was not looking for Ning Qing because of Ning Qing's wealth and power, but in anyone's eyes, she was afraid that it was her purpose. Was he the one who killed the insects outside the Jab's line of defense? Tian Mu Wan once again asked in an incomparably dry voice. He was the one who killed them, and he was also the one who drove away the insect queen. For the sake of the Jab's line of defense, to prevent the insects from entering the humans' territory, he almost died together with the insects. Yi Lei did not deny it, as she knew that sooner or later, this matter would be known by others. The recording of Ning Qing's fight with the insects was not something that only a single person would know. Once the recording was analyzed, it would soon be announced to the world. This kind of thing simply could not be stopped, as such she might as well simply admit it. "What's wrong with him?" Tian Mu Wan suddenly stood up with a worried look on her face. Yi Lei frowned, but soon she felt relieved. Tian Mu Wan's life was saved by Ning Qing, as such she was concerned about Ning Qing's life and death. "He should be fine, you don't have to worry about it," Yi Lei quickly replied. Tian Mu Wan hesitated for a moment before she spoke. "Where is he now?" Yi Lei shook her head and spoke. "I'm sorry, but I can't tell you. Moreover, I also don't know." Ning Qing had gone to the Farrell Brook Mountains a month ago. Whether he was currently in the Farrell Brook Mountains or not, Yi Lei really did not know. Tian Mu Wan bit her lips and spoke. "I'm sorry for disturbing you today, I just wanted to find him to thank him." Moreover, I used to be his girlfriend. Lei looked at Tian Mu Wan in surprise. She did not think that Tian Mu Wan and Ning Cheng would have a relationship of a couple. But soon she reacted, shook her head and spoke, Ning Cheng already has a wife. Whether what you said is true or false, I have no reason to believe it. He's married. Tian Mu Wan suddenly felt a big iron all piercing her heart. She had said it 10,000 times in her heart, that it was impossible for two people to be together. However, when she heard that Ning Cheng was married, she unexpectedly became absent-minded. However, she quickly calmed down. Wasn't it better for him to be married? When she had pushed Xing Jiyun to Ning Cheng, wasn't it because she wanted Ning Cheng and Xing Jiyun to marry? To make up for the guilt in her heart? Thank you. Tian Mu Wan stood up, her face somewhat pale. Seeing Tian Mu Wan's appearance, Lei sighed, and just as Tian Mu Wan was about to walk out of the coffee shop, she spoke, he went to the Pharaoh Brook Mountains once. As for whether he is there or not, I don't know. Tian Mu Wan paused for a moment, did not answer, and quickly walked out. Big brother, how did you become like this? Ning Rulan, who was cultivating in the miniature world, stood up in horror when she saw Ning Cheng come in. Her big brother's face and hair had turned gray. It was much more serious than the first time she had seen him on Earth. My strength is too low. Every time I cross planes, I have to burn my lifespan as the price. However, you don't have to worry about it. The spiritual qi and the cultivation laws here are much stronger than those on Earth. In this place, I would only need 10 days at most before I can fully recover. Ning Cheng spoke without care. He did not say that it was for Rulan's sake, otherwise, Rulan would definitely feel sad in her heart. Seeing Rulan's crying appearance, Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, don't worry, once I advance to the sea opening realm, the lifespan that I lost would come back. It is not a great thing. But for you, your progress is not small, you are already at the Qi gathering 3rd level. And, I listened to your words, and used the spiritual enhancement true nectar to soak in and then cultivate. It really sped up my cultivation by several times. Ning Rulan was originally very happy that her progress was so fast, but seeing her big brother like this, she really could not be happy. Your cultivation is still low, so continue to cultivate here. I will restore my cultivation outside. In this place, only strength is the absolute truth. Ning Cheng taught Ning Rulan in a very simple manner. Regarding the matters of the I Xing mainland, Ning Rulan had already heard from her big brother many times. Now that she heard Ning Cheng's teachings, she certainly would not be careless. Big brother, is this the graceful star mainland? Seeing Ning Rulan wanting to go out and have a look, Ning Cheng spoke up with a smile, you can cultivate here. This is the bottom of the Blood River. I met elder brother Tsang Wei here, and it was elder brother Tsang Wei who helped me to go to Earth and come back from Earth. When we arrive at the Tian continent, I will take you out. I also know an elder sister from the Tian continent, called Lan Shu. Yes. Ning Rulan was very obedient to her big brother's words. Although she wanted to go out and see what the situation was, her big brother told her not to go out, so she immediately dispelled the idea. Ning Cheng arranged a spiritual gathering array at the place where Tsang Wei was initially trapped and took out tens of millions of spirit stones. The heaven continent's heaven and earth laws were stronger than the earth's, and the spiritual qi here was denser than the earth's. Coupled with the fact that the heaven opening talisman had been left in this place for an unknown period of time, coupled with the spiritual gathering array that Ning Cheng had arranged in this place, the restorative effect was even more formidable. More than half a month later, Ning Cheng had once again recovered to the 4th level of soul sculpting realm, while at the same time, his cultivation had also advanced a step further. Since going to Earth to pick up his sister Rulan, Ning Cheng had not made any progress. Now that his cultivation had room for improvement, Ning Cheng did not stop, and continued to absorb the spirit stones for cultivation. After another month, Ning Cheng finally broke through to the 5th level of the soul sculpting realm. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness fell into the miniature world. Rulan's progress was even greater, and she was already at the Qi gathering 5th level. Although Ning Rulan's cultivation resources were 100 times better than Ning Cheng's, but for her to be able to cultivate to the qi-gathering 5th level in such a short time, it was clear that Ning Rulan's qualifications were also quite good. A few days later, Ning Cheng brought Ning Rulan out of the miniature world and arrived at the Lu continent. Big brother, is this the Yixing mainland? Ning Rulan looked at the many lights flying in the sky, and felt shocked in her heart. Originally, her big brother was able to use an airship to fly, which had already shocked her greatly. Now that so many people could fly, it was simply like the immortal world. This is just the Lu continent of the Yixing mainland. There are 10 continents in the Yixing mainland, and the Lu continent is just one of them. Do you see the city in front of us? That is the Dragon and Phoenix City of the Lu continent. Let's go to the Dragon and Phoenix City now. I want to see if elder sister Lan Shu has returned or not. If elder sister Lan Shu is not here, then I will take you to the Ping continent. When I first came here, I was in the Ping continent. Ning Qing carefully explained. He did not change his appearance, and with his cultivation at the 5th level of the soul sculpting realm, even if he could not beat the people from the Gui clan, he would not feel any fear. If the Gui clan wanted to seal him like before, then it would simply be a dream. As for going to the Ping continent, Ning Chen wanted to help the Ning clan take revenge. In any case, this predecessor was also his previous life. Chapter 391. The last time I came here, I was almost killed. Ning Qing pointed to the spiritual treasure house in front of them and spoke to Ning Rulan. Ning Rulan looked at the various kinds of people around her, and felt somewhat nervous in her heart. Now that she heard her big brother say that he was almost killed in the spiritual treasure house, it made her even more worried. You don't have to worry, even if my current strength is not as good as others, I will not be afraid of others. Ning Cheng's words suddenly came to a halt. What's wrong? Big brother. Ning Rulan could feel the change in her big brother's aura. Rulan, I saw the guy who wanted to kill me back then. Ning Qing spoke in a deep voice. A tall man with a pale complexion also noticed Ning Cheng and swept his gaze towards him. Soon, his gaze fell on Ning Cheng. Ning Rulan spoke up in horror, then let's hurry up. I can't get away. He's already seen me. Don't worry, I can see that this fellow is only at the 1st level of sea opening realm, I believe that I can kill him. Ning Qing spoke out calmly. He had promised elder sister Shu that when he had the strength in the future, he would definitely kill this devil. Just because a 10-year-old girl called him ugly, this devil killed everyone in the homeless sect. He even collected the blood of female cultivators and humiliated the corpses of the female cultivators he killed. When the little girl saw him kill all the people in the sect, he finally killed the little girl who was only 10 years old and threw her off the cliff. Initially, it was because his strength was too weak, but now that he was already at the 5th level of soul sculpting realm, dealing with a cultivator at the 1st level of sea opening realm, Ning Chen believed that he could definitely do it. Unless his opponent's cultivation technique was as heaven-defying as his, he also had many treasures, and he even had a king's physique. Kid, it really is you. You've improved so quickly. I guess that even the most talented genius in the entire Lu continent would not be able to match up to you in terms of cultivation speed, right? The pale-faced man had already arrived in front of Ning Cheng. After he finished speaking with a sneer, he glanced at Ning Rulan and spoke, "This woman looks good. What do you want?" Ning Cheng calmly asked. He knew that the other party would not dare to start a fight in the Dragon and Phoenix City, but he would also not dare to start a fight in the Dragon and Phoenix City. If the difference in strength between the two of them was too great, then the other party could have easily taken him away. However, now that he was at the 5th level of soul sculpting realm, it was absolutely impossible for the other party to casually take him away. What do I want? Hee, it's very simple. Just follow me out of the city. Otherwise, I will extract your soul and refine it. If you obediently follow me out of the city, I might even accept you as my disciple if I'm happy. You must know that I, Duan Zhang, do not easily accept disciples. For me to accept you as my disciple, it is your good fortune." The man gave a smile, but in his heart he was thinking about the treasures on Ning Cheng's body. Ning Cheng did not speak any nonsense. "Lead the way." Duan Zhang looked at Ning Cheng in doubt, and then spoke in a very appreciative manner. "A wise man submits to circumstances. You are very tactful. I promise that I will not kill you." "Is it Ning Cheng?" Jia Lingwei, who had just come out of the spiritual treasure house, looked at the three people walking out of the Dragon and Phoenix City in shock. She had already recognized one of them as Ning Cheng. After coming out of the law's way, she had heard all kinds of rumors. Later, she also heard that Ning Cheng had killed Gue Yuhai, but she did not expect that she would actually see Ning Cheng today. "No, that's not right," the person who brought Ning Cheng out seemed to have bad intentions towards Ning Cheng. Jia Lingwei's thoughts were meticulous, and she quickly noticed that something was wrong. No matter what kind of rumors it was, she had always been grateful towards Ning Cheng. Now that she saw Ning Cheng appear, moreover it seemed that he was being forced to leave the Dragon and Phoenix village, the first thing she thought of was to quickly find someone to save Ning Cheng. The only person she could look for was her master, Na Xinlan. Her master had just advanced to the first level of Sea Opening Realm, so he should not be afraid of this person. Thinking of this, Jia Lingwei immediately sent a message to her master and carefully followed him. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness was much more powerful compared to his cultivation, as such when Jia Lingwei followed him out of the Dragon and Phoenix City, he was able to see her. With Ning Cheng's current knowledge and experience, he immediately understood Jia Lingwei's thoughts. Although he was very grateful for Jia Lingwei's gratitude, he didn't think that Jia Lingwei could help much. Moreover, he was not afraid of Duan Zhang at all. After not seeing each other for many years, Jia Lingwei's cultivation had already advanced from the profound congealing realm to the great circle of the profound core realm. With this cultivation, it was still far from being able to help him. Duan Zhang's cultivation was at the first level of Sea Opening Realm, so when Jia Lingwei came out, he also noticed it. He sneered in his heart, so what if he is a disciple of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy? If she did not take the initiative to provoke him, then he would not care about it, but since she took the initiative to provoke him, then she should not blame him for having another furnace. He did not believe that anyone would know that he had taken away a disciple of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy outside the Dragon and Phoenix City. After half an hour, Duan Zhang finally stopped. He turned around and stared at Ning Cheng with a cold gaze and spoke, "Bring up your ring, and then seal your meridians, don't make me waste my effort." In this place, Duan Zhang did not even bother to speak in a hypocritical tone. Ning Cheng simply did not wait for Duan Zhang to finish his words, as 36 small axes rolled up layers upon layers of axe waves as they shot out. At this moment, not only the 36 small axes, but even the shadow of the everlasting Blue Thunder City also shot out. Duan Zhang's cultivation was higher than his, so even if he did not fear him, he still decided to go all out. Seeing her big brother take action, Ning Rulan simply did not need her big brother's instructions, and had already started to retreat. She was very clear that her cultivation was still too low, as such she had to move far away from her big brother so that he would not have to take care of her. Ha! At the same time as the 36 small axes shot out, Duan Zhang immediately exclaimed in surprise, before he immediately cried out in shock, "All of them are best quality true artifacts." At this time, his eyes turned red. 36 best quality true artifacts, even in his dreams he would not be able to obtain them, but now they had unexpectedly appeared in front of him. Duan Zhang had already killed countless people, so he quickly suppressed this kind of surprise. He knew that he had to kill this person in front of him as soon as possible. Only in this way would these things truly belong to him. In the Lu continent, a Sea Opening Realm cultivator like him did not count for anything. The Lu continent even had many crucible transformation cultivators, not to mention a Sea Opening Realm. Under the surge of emotions, Duan Zhang raised his hand and brought out his own magical weapon, a pair of white bone scissors. When the scissors opened, it brought out a dense cold qi, causing the surrounding air to seemingly stagnate under this cold qi. These two scissors were just like two incomparably huge doors, as they completely surrounded Ning Cheng's 36 small axes, as if they wanted to cut off Ning Cheng's 36 small axes. Ning Cheng was very disdainful. He really did not know where this Duan Zhang's confidence came from. Not to say that he was just a trivial first-level sea opening realm, even if it was an intermediate-stage crucible transformation cultivator, they would not dare to say that they would be able to lock away all 36 small axes with a single scissor. Bang! Ka-ka! The white bone scissors and Ning Cheng's 36 small axes clashed together, causing a violent explosion of true essence to erupt. The area where Ning Cheng and Duan Zhang were fighting was completely thrown into chaos by the explosion of true essence. Ning Rulan, who was standing at a distance, was simply unable to see clearly, not to mention using her spiritual consciousness to sweep out. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness felt a sharp pain. His 36 small axes seemed to have lost contact with his mind at this moment. In just a breath of time, Ning Cheng understood what was going on. No wonder Duan Zhang dared to have this kind of idea, wanting to use a pair of bone scissors to collect his 36 small axes. It turned out that this pair of scissors also had this kind of effect. It could cut off the connection between his spiritual consciousness and his magical weapon. This was definitely a powerful magical weapon, somewhat similar to the polar gold binding rope that he had snatched from Gue Yuhai. However, this pair of scissors was obviously more powerful than the polar gold binding rope. Even with Ning Cheng's powerful spiritual consciousness, he could feel that his axes were about to lose contact with him. Ning Cheng did not forcibly collect his axes. In this case, forcibly collecting them would be equivalent to being led away by Duan Zhang. Apart from wasting his spiritual consciousness and energy, there would not be any other benefits. Ning Cheng simply ignored the 36 axes, as the everlasting Blue Thunder City's shadow smashed down. The everlasting Blue Thunder City had always been a defensive magical weapon. This was the first time that Ning Cheng had used the everlasting Blue Thunder City's shadow to attack. In his sea of consciousness, the everlasting Blue Thunder City could automatically shoot out lightning arcs. However, Ning Cheng did not have any way to make the Blue Thunder City's shadow shoot out lightning arcs. As such, he could only use this kind of forceful smash. A formidable imposing aura and pressure descended. Duan Zhang, on seeing the Blue Thunder City's shadow fall down, was immediately shocked in his heart. What kind of magical weapon was this? He no longer cared about collecting Ning Cheng's 36 small axes, as he once again used the 10,000 bone scissors to cut. He believed that no matter what magic treasure it was, it would be useless against his 10,000 bone scissors. Boom! The shadow of the everlasting Blue Thunder City slammed into Duan Zhang's 10,000 bone scissors, causing it to explode in an instant, while the Blue Thunder City unexpectedly disappeared without a trace. Even if the Blue Thunder City's shadow was destroyed by the 10,000 bone scissors, the powerful backlash still came from it, causing Duan Zhang to be sent flying upside down, causing his true essence to tumble. However, he was very satisfied. After all, his scissors had turned his opponent's powerful attack into nothingness. But not waiting for him to stand firm, an incomparably huge shadow of the Blue Thunder City once again smashed down. Oh no, there's no point in destroying this city's shadow, it can still be regenerated. After Duan Zhang understood this point, he no longer wanted to fight against Ning Cheng's everlasting Blue Thunder City's shadow. He wanted to avoid this Thunder City's shadow. At this moment, the surrounding space suddenly became heavy. Although Duan Zhang's speed was still fast, it simply couldn't be compared to before the shadow of the Blue Thunder City descended. The opposite party was definitely not at the intermediate stages of the soul-sculpting realm. Duan Zhang immediately understood this truth. This kind of powerful spiritual consciousness, even he was not a match for it. The greed he felt from before instantly cooled down. No matter how good the things were, one would still need to be alive to obtain them. Stop. I didn't know that you also had the cultivation of sea opening realm. I apologize for offending you. Now I will immediately leave, let's mind our own business. Duan Zhang shouted, as he once again brought out his 10,000 bone scissors, while simultaneously bringing out 7 red beads. Ning Cheng acted as if he had not heard Duan Zhang's words, as the 36 small axes rolled up a gust of astral wind, completely sealing up the space under the everlasting Blue Thunder City's suppression. Although Duan Zhang wanted to quickly leave the range of the everlasting Blue Thunder City, he was still a step too late. The 7 red beads exploded on top of the 7 small axes whirlpools, boom 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 boom. 7 consecutive violent explosions rang out. The aftermath of the explosions once again smashed into Ning Cheng's body, but Ning Cheng acted as if he did not feel it at all. However, Duan Zhang's 10,000 ancient scissors once again blocked the rank 5 Blue Thunder City's shadow, and did not let the Blue Thunder City's shadow smash into his body. Unfortunately, Ning Cheng only had 36 axes, not 7. The whirlpools created by the rest of the small axes completely fused together at this time. Just like a huge funnel, it immediately exploded onto Duan Zhang's body. Bang! Duan Zhang's entire lower body was completely blown apart by the powerful whirlpools, as he was sent flying. Although Duan Zhang's cultivation was higher than Ning Cheng's, Ning Cheng did not feel any pressure in his fight with Duan Zhang. He did not even need to bring out his long spear. Chapter 392. Duan Zhang's life essence did not have the time to escape, when Ning Cheng threw out a ball of flames and surrounded it. It was not until this moment that Duan Zhang realized that Ning Cheng had followed him out of the city not because he was afraid of him, but rather because he wanted to kill him. Unfortunately, he realized it a bit too late. If he had realized it earlier, then maybe he would have had the opportunity to escape. While the ball of flame surrounded Duan Zhang's life essence, Ning Cheng punched out towards Duan Zhang, who only had half of his body left. Killing you today can be considered as helping elder sister Shu take revenge for the homeless academy. Before Duan Zhang died, he finally understood why Ning Cheng was so determined to kill him. It turned out to be to take revenge for the homeless academy. As for who that elder sister Shu was, he simply did not know. When a ring fell into Ning Cheng's hand, Duan Zhang's corporeal body and soul completely turned into nothingness. You actually killed Duan Zhang? A surprised voice arrived, as Ning Cheng saw a middle-aged female cultivator descend. Master! Jia Lingwei quickly came out from a distance. She had seen Ning Cheng kill this tall cultivator with her own eyes, but she did not know how powerful Duan Zhang was. Ning Cheng understood that Jia Lingwei had called her master over to help. However, her master came a bit too late. By the time her master arrived, he had already killed Duan Zhang. Ning Rulan quickly ran to stand behind Ning Cheng and stared at Jia Lingwei and her master with vigilance. She had heard from her big brother that people would often kill people for no reason in order to snatch things. Since her big brother had killed that pale-faced man, she did not know if this person would covet him or not. Senior apprentice Sister Lingwei, long time no see. Ning Cheng smiled and cupped his fists. He did not know Jia Lingwei's master. Moreover, the opposite party only had the cultivation of first level of Sea Opening Realm, so he did not care about it. Jia Lingwei quickly spoke up, No, Senior apprentice brother Ning, your cultivation is higher than mine, and you even saved my life. Just call me Junior apprentice Sister Lingwei. The middle-aged female cultivator smiled and spoke, Lingwei, is he Ning Cheng? Jia Lingwei called him Senior apprentice brother Ning, and said that he had saved her life. Jia Lingwei's master immediately realized that it should be Ning Cheng. This junior is indeed Ning Cheng, many thanks for senior's help. Ning Cheng quickly cupped his fists and thanked. The middle-aged female cultivator waved her hand, I didn't help you much. Since you could kill Duan Zhang, it means that your strength is already above mine. My name is Na Xinlan, and I am Lingwei's master. I don't dare to call you senior. Jia Lingwei stared at Ning Cheng in shock, and only after a good while did she ask in amazement, Master, is senior apprentice brother Ning's strength higher than yours? After saying this, Jia Lingwei couldn't believe it at all. When she first saw Ning Cheng seemed to only have the cultivation of essence-building realm. How long has it been? Even Master couldn't compare to him. Although the geniuses in the Lu continent were as numerous as the hairs on an ox, but he had never seen a cultivator who could progress as fast as Ning Cheng. Even Luo Banyun and Bei Xingjin from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy could not cultivate as fast as Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng quickly spoke up, "Junior apprentice Sister Lingwei, this senior is just being modest. I only have the cultivation of soul sculpting realm, and am still far inferior to your respected master. Thank you so much for coming out to help me today." His cultivation was higher than Jia Lingwei's, so he didn't insist when Jia Lingwei insisted on calling him senior brother. Jia Lingwei sighed, only then did she remember the reason why she came here, and gave a self-deprecating smile. "I did not help much. If I had seen you face to face, I might not have believed that you were senior apprentice brother Ning. Your changes are just too big. I did not think that in just 10 years, senior apprentice brother Ning would surpass me by so much." Although Ning Cheng's appearance had changed a bit, Jia Lingwei did not find it strange. However, she did not think that Ning Cheng had changed his appearance in order to avoid his enemies. Many cultivators did not rely on their appearance, but rather on their aura and spiritual consciousness fluctuations. "Senior apprentice brother Ning, do you still remember junior apprentice sister Yan Ji?" Jia Lingwei subconsciously looked at Ning Rulan standing next to Ning Cheng. Ever since Yan Ji regained her sanity, she immediately stood up to speak for Ning Cheng. She even said that the arrest warrant for Ning Cheng was just nonsense. Jia Lingwei even thought that Ning Cheng and Yan Ji had some sort of relationship. How could a beautiful girl appear beside Ning Cheng now? Moreover, her cultivation was so poor, only at Qi Gathering 5th level. Ning Cheng saw Jia Lingwei looking at Ning Rulan, and immediately spoke up, "Of course I remember. Is Yan Ji still well?" "That's right, this is my younger sister Ning Rulan." "Rulan, these two are senior Na Xinlan and senior apprentice sister Jia Lingwei from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy." Jia Lingwei suddenly understood, so it turned out to be Ning Cheng's younger sister. "Ning Cheng, do you still want to go to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy?" Na Xinlan took the initiative to speak up. She had seen Ning Cheng's cultivation progress so rapidly, and knew that Ning Cheng was definitely not ordinary. If he did not have a secret, then his qualifications were really heaven-defying, or he had obtained some kind of inheritance. Because Ning Cheng and her disciple Jia Lingwei were familiar with each other, she wanted her disciple to have a good relationship with Ning Cheng, at least not offend a person like Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng originally wanted to ask about elder sister Shu, but now that Na Xinlan asked about it, he quickly spoke up. "When I returned to the Dragon and Phoenix City, I found that Lan Shu and I were wanted. I want to know if elder sister Lan Shu returned to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. If not, then I will not go." Na Xinlan gave a slight nod. "After the arrest warrant appeared, Lan Shu has not appeared. No one has touched her residence. As such, my Dragon and Phoenix Academy is not afraid of the Gue Yuan City and the Wunyan Academy. If you do not have any special matter, then you can come to my immortal cave. Maybe I have some information that you need." Ning Cheng immediately remembered the Gue clan and the Wunyan Academy who had opposed him, and spoke up in his heart, "Then I will have to disturb senior." Na Xinlan, as a cultivator at the first level of Sea Opening Realm, still had a certain status in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Ning Cheng could see from her residence that not only was the spiritual qi incomparably rich, but there was also a separate spiritual medicine mountain. The entire environment was 10 times more beautiful than the place where elder sister Lan Shu lived. Although Ning Rulan was Ning Cheng's younger sister, but Ning Rulan's age was not that young, and was only at the Qi Gathering 5th level, as such Na Xinlan did not care about it. Of course, she did not know that Ning Rulan had only cultivated for 2 or 3 months. After Jia Lingwei served up the spiritual tea, she also quietly sat down next to her master. Na Xinlan did not beat around the bush, and directly asked, "Ning Cheng, that your Nalan Rushues said that you and her were husband and wife, is this matter true or false?" After Na Xinlan asked, she also observed Ning Cheng. If Ning Cheng felt that it was taboo to ask such a question, then she would immediately change the topic. Ning Cheng did not care about Na Xinlan directly asking this question, as he gave a faint smile and spoke, "That senior, although Nalan Rushua thinks that her background is many times more noble than mine, but in my heart, I do not have any impression of her. My Ning Cheng's cultivation might not be as good as the noble disciples of the major academies, but I have my own persistence when it comes to relationships. Let me put it bluntly, that senior does not have to care about it, even if that Nalan Rishua were to strip naked and lie in front of me, I would not even bother to get on top of her, not to mention forcing myself on her. Ning Cheng's words were very rude, and also very impolite, to the point that he almost directly scolded Nalan Rishua. Even if she knew that he might die in the law's way, this woman still did not forget to use him, and even said that he had forced himself on her. As for the fact that he had saved her life, Nalan Rishua simply did not care about it. If Ning Cheng had a good impression of her, then it would be a strange thing. Big brother. Ning Rulan whispered a reminder to Ning Cheng from the side. She did not think that her big brother's words were unpleasant to hear, but she was afraid that these words would spread out, which would be detrimental to her big brother. Jia Lingwei's face turned slightly red. She was a relatively introverted person, so when Ning Cheng spoke without any politeness, she could not stand it. In her heart, she also believed that Ning Cheng had not forced himself on Nalan Rishua. Na Xinlan smiled. She did not feel that Ning Cheng's words were harsh to the ears. Instead she spoke up with a smile. Lingwei has always told me that you would not do such a thing. I think that Nalan Rishua should thank you. If not for you killing Gue Yuhai, then maybe she would have already married into the Gue clan. That Gue Yuhai is the most important disciple of the Gue clan. I'm afraid that Gue Zhong would not let it go so easily. Gue Zhong already has the cultivation of Crucible Transformation 3rd level, so you have to be careful. After saying that, Na Xinlan still looked at Ning Cheng. As long as Ning Cheng had some fear towards the Gue clan, she was confident that she could win over Ning Cheng. What made Na Xinlan feel regretful was that Ning Cheng just gave a smile. Even if I and Gue Yuhai did not have any enmity, I would still have killed him. The Gue clan is just as so. His wife, Shi Qianghua, was also a Crucible Transformation cultivator, and the two of them had even killed a Crucible Transformation 7th level cultivator, so why would they fear a mere Gue clan? What's more, he had a way to let the Dragon and Phoenix Academy deal with the Gue clan, unless he misjudged Na Xinlan. Hearing Ning Cheng say that even if he had no enmity with Gue Yuhai, he would still kill Gue Yuhai. Na Xinlan even ignored Ning Cheng's words of contempt towards the Gue clan, and quickly asked, "Why is that?" Ning Cheng did not speak, and directly waved out a few agate red jade boxes and spoke, "Senior Na, this is what I found inside Gue Yuhai's ring after I killed him. Senior Na is very knowledgeable, so I think you can see it more clearly than me." Na Xinlan did not know what Ning Cheng meant by taking out these jade boxes. She doubtfully opened one of the jade boxes and immediately saw a box filled with undergarments. Jia Lingwei's face turned slightly red, as she secretly thought that Ning Cheng really did not know what was good for him, to actually take out a woman's undergarments and put them in front of her master. Moreover, some of these undergarments even made her blush. It was simply too thin. When Na Xinlan first saw the undergarments, she also felt a bit angry in her heart. However, her face immediately changed, as she immediately grabbed one of the undergarments and stared at it for a long time. Even Jia Lingwei knew that something was wrong. Her master had always been very traditional, as such it was absolutely impossible for her to study the undergarments in front of a male cultivator like senior apprentice brother Ning. It turned out to be the soul-locking wish extraction technique, so insidious. Na Xinlan's complexion had already changed, even her hands were trembling with anger. In just a moment, she had already opened the rest of the boxes. Suddenly she grabbed a pink undergarment from one of the boxes, and spoke with red and swollen eyes. "I always wondered where Man had gone. I never thought that she would end up being harmed by the Gue clan, master, senior apprentice sister Man." Jia Lingwei also understood what was going on, as she stood up in shock. Na Xinlan's face immediately turned gloomy, as she put away the boxes and spoke to Ning Cheng. "Ning Cheng, thank you. I'm going to see the dean immediately. Lingwei, you accompany Ning Cheng, I have something important to do." "I know, master." When Jia Lingwei finished, Na Xinlan had already disappeared. Chapter 393. Junior Apprentice Sister Lingwei, what is the soul-locking wish extraction? Ning Cheng waited for Na Xinlan to leave, before quickly asking. He had only started out halfway, and did not have a master to guide him, as such there were many things that he did not understand. Although his cultivation was higher than Jia Lingwei, but the things that he knew might not necessarily be as much as Jia Lingwei. Jia Lingwei shook her head with red eyes. I don't know, but master's meaning is that senior apprentice sister man might have been killed by Gue Yuhai. How is junior apprentice sister Yan Ji recently? Seeing Jia Lingwei talking about senior apprentice sister man, Ning Qing quickly interjected, and once again asked about Yan Ji. He still had some concern for Yan Ji, the Lu continent's twin lotus flowers. In Ning Cheng's heart, Yan Ji was many times higher than Nalan Rushue. He had always thought that Nalan Rushue was not worthy of being on the same level as Yan Ji. Jia Lingwei sobered up from the contemplation of senior apprentice sister man, and quickly spoke up. It seems that senior apprentice brother Ning does not know a lot of things. The transmission array from the Lu continent to the Tian continent has already been arranged. From the Ping continent to the Lu continent and the other 9 continents' geniuses, all of them will enter the Tian continent through the transmission array. Yan Ji, Nalan Rushue, Gue Yu Tang, Gue Yu Hua, Kue Tian, Bei Xingjin, Cheng Yixiao, Luo Ban Yun and dozens of others have all gone to the Tian continent. So that's how it is, junior apprentice sister Lingwei, with your qualifications, you should also be able to go to the Tian continent, right? Ning Qing suddenly understood. My master said that my strength is not enough, and that I will only go after I reach the soul essence realm. Jia Lingwei replied. Ning Qing nodded. Jia Lingwei was already at the great circle of the profound core realm. Advancing to the soul essence realm was only a matter of time. Senior apprentice brother Ning, if it is inconvenient for your sister, you can let her join my Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Jia Lingwei knew the meaning of her master. She wanted her to befriend Ning Cheng. If it was an ordinary person, having the opportunity to join a 9-star academy, they would definitely be so happy that they would not be able to sleep. However, Ning Qing did not care about it. He would not want to stay in the Lu continent. He himself would not stay in the Lu continent, so how could he leave his little sister here? Many thanks junior apprentice sister Lingwei, but I still have to take Rulan to do something. Ning Qing thanked her, but immediately refused. Junior Yan Ji, Tian, Yan Wei did not say much. He, sister, Yan, brother, Yan, sister Yan, Tian Yan, Chen Yan, Qing said. The Blue Cloud Academy regarded her as the #1 genius in their cultivation, and attached great importance to their junior apprentice sister Yan Ji. Junior apprentice sister Yan Ji requested the Blue Cloud Academy to withdraw the arrest warrant for you and Master Shu, moreover she also firmly stands on your side. Afterwards, in just a few years, junior apprentice sister Yan Ji advanced to the soul essence realm. I'm afraid that junior apprentice sister Yan Ji's cultivation has already reached the soul sculpting realm. As Jia Lingwei finished speaking, she was very concerned about Ning Cheng's expression. She wanted to know if it was because of Ning Cheng that Yan Ji's qualifications rose so quickly. She knew that it was only after Yan Ji came out from the law's way that her qualifications and comprehension ability had reached a whole new level. In the law's way, Yan Ji and Ning Cheng had the most contact. Perhaps it was because of Ning Cheng's help. Ning Cheng was very grateful to Yan Ji in his heart. He had also guessed that the reason why Yan Ji could progress so quickly should be related to the spiritual enhancement true nectar. However, he would not tell Jia Lingwei these things. From Jia Lingwei, Ning Cheng learned a lot of things. He came to know that the Gue clan had gained another crucible transformation cultivator a few years ago. Not only that, but the Gue clan and the 9 continents army were also very close. According to Jia Lingwei's words, the Gue clan had gotten close to the 9 continents army after Ning Qing disappeared from the Yixing Ocean. Hearing this, Ning Qing knew in his heart that even if Na Xinlan was not satisfied with Gue Yuhai's actions, the Dragon and Phoenix Academy would at most be able to disgust the Gue clan, and would not be able to destroy the Gue clan. To destroy the Gue clan, it looks like he would have to wait for the future. If Na Xinlan impulsively went to look for the dean on the spot, then maybe it was because of that man, or that she had mentioned. Just as Ning Cheng was thinking about these things, Na Xinlan once again returned. Master. Jia Lingwei, on seeing her master return, immediately stood up and called out in anticipation. Na Xinlan's face was a bit desolate. She waved her hand towards Jia Lingwei, and then spoke to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng, the Gui clan is too powerful. I'm afraid that these few boxes of undergarments would not be enough to unite with the other forces to bring down the Gui clan. Thank you for helping my disciple take revenge. Because the Wu Nian Academy and the Gui clan have a close relationship, my Dragon and Phoenix Academy's hearts are not united. Ning Cheng, on hearing this, already understood what was going on. He stood up and cupped his fists towards Na Xinlan and spoke, "Many thanks for Senior Na's help. I will deal with this matter myself in the future." Na Xinlan took out 2 boxes and placed them in front of Ning Cheng and spoke, "Out of the 4 boxes, I took out 2 of them from the dean. You can keep these 2 for yourself. In the future you can use them as evidence." Speaking till here, Na Xinlan hesitated for a moment, before continuing, "Originally I was going to ask you to stay in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy for a while, but now it seems that it is not possible. The Gui clan will soon come to know that you have come to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, although Gui Zhong is not in the Gui Yuan city. I suggest that you leave this place as soon as possible, and come back in the future when you have the strength to do so." Seeing the desolate look in Na Xinlan's eyes, how could Ning Cheng not know what was going on? The Dragon and Phoenix Academy definitely had a few people who were leaning towards the Gui clan. Na Xinlan had even plotted against her own disciple by the Gui clan, but she could only discuss the Gui clan a bit. From this, it could be seen that if he wanted to destroy the Gui clan, he would have to rely on himself. Na Xinlan tried to persuade him to leave this place as soon as possible, because she knew that the matter of her coming to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy would soon be leaked out. Ning Cheng secretly sighed. Taking revenge in the end still had to rely on his own fists. The last time he had schemed in the Tian continent for such a long time, the severing emotions Dao sect was still there. From this it could be seen that strength was the most fundamental thing. "I would like to ask Senior, what is the soul-locking wish extraction?" Ning Cheng asked as he put away the 2 boxes. Na Xinlan did not hide anything from Ning Cheng. "I came to know about it when I went to the mystic realm with the people from the Gui clan. Everyone has a kind of power of hope. This kind of power of hope can grow because of certain things, and even continue to form on one's own body. The collection of the power of hope is very difficult. I heard that incense can be used to collect the power of hope. Of course, I am not clear about this. At that time, we also saw another method of collecting the power of hope on an altar. Other than me, there were also the Gui clan's Gui Feng and the Wu Nian Academy's Di Xianqing. That is to lock the soul of a virgin woman, and then extract the power of hope through an array formation. This kind of power of hope would finally attach itself to the woman's undergarments, and then be used again. Only virgins have the most powerful power of hope. As such, this method of collecting the power of hope does not require the use of incense. Because this method is incomparably ruthless, moreover the extracted virgin's soul would scatter away, and even the essence blood would not remain. The 3 of us agreed that this method was too vicious. Moreover, as for what the power of hope was used for, no one knew. Therefore, we unanimously destroyed this method of recording, and also made an agreement to never reveal this kind of thing. I did not expect that it would be used by the Gui clan's Gui Yuhai. It can be seen that Gui Feng did not abide by his promise. Ning Cheng, on hearing till here, came to understand that the Gui clan must have obtained the true Brahma sword. Gui Yuhai knew that this thing needed the power of hope to drive. However, he did not have the power of hope, and as a result, Gui Feng passed on this vicious method to him. "Many thanks Senior Na, this junior will now take his leave." Ning Cheng once again thanked Na Xinlan, before pulling Ning Rulan and quickly leaving. "Master, if Senior Apprentice Brother Ning stays in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, then who would dare to make a move against him?" Jia Lingwei asked in a puzzled manner. Na Xinlan shook her head, and did not directly answer Jia Lingwei's words, and just spoke, "Lingwei, prepare yourself. After you advance to the Soul Essence realm, you will immediately head to the Tian continent. Big brother, this flight-type magical weapon seems to be a lot faster than the one in front." Ning Rulan could feel that this airship was much faster, and immediately spoke up. Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, "Of course, this is a low-grade true artifact airship. Its speed is certainly not something that a spiritual artifact airship can compare to. Ning Cheng had snatched this low-grade true artifact airship from the hands of Qi Lu. Qi Lu was a Crucible Transformation 7th level cultivator, as such how could a Crucible Transformation cultivator's flight-type magical weapon be bad? Then where are we going now? Ning Rulan knew that a true artifact was of a higher grade than a spiritual artifact, but she had just arrived in the Yixing mainland, as such she did not have an intuitive concept. Let's first go to the Angry Axe Valley to have a look. If we can't find what I want, then we will return to the Ping continent. Ning Qing replied. He wanted to go to the Angry Axe Valley because he wanted to know if he could enter the Angry Axe Valley after the last incident. If he could go in, then Meng Jingxiu had given him a map, so he wanted to see if the immortal mansion of Lan Wei existed. If the immortal mansion existed, then he would not have to worry about not having enough cultivation resources. It did not matter if the immortal mansion did not exist, as it would not waste much time. If he wanted to return to the Ping continent, then he would have to pass through the entrance of the Angry Axe Valley to the Jia continent. And, wherever Big Brother goes, I will follow. Ning Rulan gave an N sound, whether it was Earth or the Yixing mainland, she only had her big brother as her family. After Ning Qing hesitated for a moment, he still spoke up, Rulan, I want to tell you something, you don't have to be nervous, and don't panic. Big brother, just say it, I won't be nervous. Ning Rulan snorted, her big brother was already together with her, what else was there for her to be nervous about? Actually, I came to the Yixing mainland because of a bead. When Ning Qing spoke about his reincarnation into his past life, Ning Rulan was so shocked that she could not even speak a single word. Was there anything else that could shock her more than this? If she had not followed Ning Qing to the Yixing mainland, then she really would not have believed her big brother's words. Although she was sure that Ning Qing was her big brother, but after all, this reincarnation thing was just too outrageous. Big brother, is what you said true? It's true. Sigh. After a good while, Ning Rulan took a deep breath, as she held Ning Cheng's arm and sobbed, Tian Mu Wan, that woman is really not a good thing, she almost caused my big brother to lose his life. Ning Rulan also had the cultivation of Qi gathering 5th level, if she had not cultivated before, then she would not have believed Ning Cheng's words. But now, she was also clear that this kind of thing was very normal. Feeling Rulan's attachment to him, Ning Qing felt very fortunate in his heart. Fortunately, he had gone to pick up his little sister, otherwise his little sister would have definitely been lonely on Earth. After a while, Ning Rulan suddenly thought of something, as she eagerly asked, Big brother, if sister-in-law Luofei is in the Ping continent, how will you introduce our relationship? Ning Cheng was just about to say that Luofei should not be in the Ping continent, but the words stuck in his mouth, as he remembered Shi Qionghua. Shi Qionghua's matter, he had not told his little sister about it, so how should he bring it up? Could he tell Rulan that she had a sister-in-law called Shi Qionghua? Chapter 394. Ning Qing thought about it, and decided not to tell Rulan about this matter. In the future when he met Qionghua, Rulan would not object to it. In the past, Ning Qing had to travel from the Jia continent to the Lu continent in 1 or 2 months, and had to go through the Yixing Ocean. Now Ning Qing did not go through the Yixing Ocean, but rather directly across several continents. With the speed of the low-grade flight-type true artifact, it only took him half a month to arrive at the entrance to the Angry Axe Valley in the Jia continent. Although he passed through a vast desert and swamp, but facing Ning Cheng's low-grade flight-type true artifact, ordinary flying monstrous beasts simply could not catch up to him. Occasionally there were some fast monstrous beasts, but Ning Qing easily killed them. As soon as Ning Qing arrived at the Angry Axe Valley, he knew that the array formations and restrictions that the powerhouses had arranged in the Angry Axe Valley were useless. At this time, the entrance was still covered with a white mist, but there was no longer any roaring sound. In addition to this, there was a building in the surroundings, with many cultivators coming and going. After letting Ning Rulan enter the miniature world, Ning Qing arrived near the entrance. He had not yet approached the building, when he used his spiritual consciousness to see a small transmission array. A cultivator in the Essence Building realm wearing a yellow robe was standing guard next to the transmission array. "Excuse me, is this the transmission array to enter the Angry Axe Valley?" Ning Cheng walked to the side of the cultivator and asked. "There is a notice on the side, don't you know how to read it yourself?" Facing Ning Cheng's question, the cultivator in charge of the transmission array pointed to the notice. Ning Cheng had already noticed the notice on the side. Any cultivator who wanted to enter the Angry Axe Valley would have to pay 50,000 high-grade spirit stones. Even if they wanted to teleport out, they would still have to pay 50,000 high-grade spirit stones. Moreover, Ning Cheng also noticed that at this time the Angry Axe Valley no longer had any cultivation restrictions, anyone could enter. "Excuse me, is there only one transmission array to enter the Angry Axe Valley in the Jia continent?" Ning Cheng asked again after reading the notice. The male cultivator in charge of the transmission array seemed to have noticed that Ning Cheng was somewhat extraordinary, and replied, "Of course not, there are a total of 2, in addition to this place, there is another one in the southern continent. So, if you want to go from the Jia continent to the southern continent, then you only have to teleport from here to the Angry Axe Valley, then teleport out from the other transmission array?" Ning Cheng knew that going from an intermediate class continent to an advanced class continent would be very difficult, even if he wanted to. Although it was easy for him, it was because he had a very high cultivation. The male cultivator in charge of the teleportation array did not have much patience this time, as he sneered and said, "You can go to the southern continent and try." Not to mention that the distance between the Jia continent's transmission array in the Angry Axe Valley and the South continent's transmission array was not shorter than walking outside. Moreover, the monstrous beasts inside the Angry Axe Valley were much more powerful than the outside. Moreover, in the Angry Axe Valley, it was very difficult to use a flight-type magical weapon. Ning Cheng did not ask again, and directly paid the 50,000 spirit stones, and entered the Angry Axe Valley. After coming out of the transmission array in the Angry Axe Valley, Ning Cheng came to know that this place was even more lively than the outside. There were even some simple shops set up on the side of the transmission array, with many cultivators coming and going. The Angry Axe Valley was already treated as an open mystic place. However, most of these cultivators did not have high cultivations. For example, Ning Cheng's cultivation was at the 5th level of soul sculpting realm, which was already considered as a top-notch expert in this place. In the Angry Axe Valley, using a flight-type magical weapon was indeed very difficult, but for Ning Cheng, he simply did not need a flight-type magical weapon. The speed of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds was much faster and more convenient than any flight-type magical weapon. The map that Meng Jingxiu had given him was very clear. Coupled with the speed of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, Ning Cheng only spent 3 days to reach the place that Meng Jingxiu had drawn on the map. According to the map that Meng Jingxiu had given him, the place that was drawn on the map was a boundless forest. According to the markings on the map, there were countless lakes in this forest. As long as he found a cross-shaped lake, he would be able to reach it. Moreover, this cross-shaped lake also had a direction, which was the direction that these trees were moving in. Every day, for a few breaths of time, these trees would be blown in the same direction by the wind. As long as he followed this direction, he would definitely be able to find the cross-shaped lake. After Ning Cheng entered this forest, he deliberately sensed it for an entire day. After a day passed by, not to mention that he could feel the trees being blown in a certain direction, he was not even aware of the slightest bit of wind. Ning Cheng did not continue to foolishly wait. His spiritual consciousness was much more powerful than that of an average cultivator. In this place, even if it was not in the direction of the trees, he would still be able to find the cross-shaped lake. This forest was simply incomparably huge, with a radius of nearly 10,000 miles. Even if that was the case, on the 4th day, Ning Cheng was still able to find the cross-shaped lake. This cross-shaped lake was a lot bigger than what Ning Cheng had imagined. It was composed of 2 intersecting lakes, spanning nearly 20 to 30 miles. According to the map, the immortal mansion of Lan Wei was located at the bottom of the lake in the center of the cross-shaped lake. In this place, there was a huge boulder with a radius of 10 feet. Standing on top of this boulder, one would be able to feel the immortal mansion. As for how to enter the immortal mansion, or how to obtain the immortal mansion, it was not recorded on the map. Before reaching the bottom of the lake, Meng Jingxiu had given him a map that he could follow, which made Ningqing feel very excited in his heart. But when Ningqing finally stood at the bottom of the lake, he was disappointed. He did not see the huge boulder with a radius of 10 feet as stated on the map. There was only some sand and stones at the bottom of the lake. The map also stated that one could only feel the immortal mansion by standing on top of the boulder, but he did not even see the boulder. How could he feel it? Ningqing swept out with his spiritual consciousness to carefully observe, and soon found a concealment array formation. The level of this array formation was not low, it was a rank 7 array formation. If not for his attainments in array formations reaching this level, he would not necessarily be able to see it. As Ningqing threw out a few array flags, the concealment array formation soon revealed itself. At this time, Ningqing was able to see it clearly. This should not be an array formation, but rather an array disk. This concealment array disk concealed the entire area. If one was not proficient in array formations, then they would not be able to see it. In the center of the concealment array disk, Ningqing found a storage bag. Ningqing immediately knew that someone had deliberately left it behind. This array disk had not been placed here for a long time. Ningqing knew that even if there was an immortal mansion, it would have already been taken by someone else. Ningqing's spiritual consciousness opened the storage bag, and found a small jade box inside the storage bag. Even the jade box was not able to contain the rich spiritual qi, causing it to overflow. Ningqing quickly opened the storage bag, and 3 crystal-clear crystal stones appeared in front of Ningqing. This. Ningqing almost called out. He was too familiar with this thing. Originally that old fogey had given him a broken crystal stone. It was precisely this kind of crystal stone. Relying on that broken crystal stone, his cultivation had skyrocketed, and now he unexpectedly obtained 3 such crystal stones. It was simply too happy. Ningqing quickly put away the jade box, took out the jade strip, and swept it with his spiritual consciousness. Big brother Ning, I took the things away. When I came in to look for these things, I did not intend to live. I did not expect that when I came here, I would be recognized by this thing as its master. Unfortunately, my cultivation is limited, and can only obtain 6 of these crystal stones. As for the others, I can only obtain them after my cultivation improves. Originally, I should have given these things to Big Brother Ning, but I must avenge the blood feud of my parents. After my parents were killed, I went to find Big Brother, but Big Brother had already left. Because of my identity, I cannot speak to those big academies, so I could only find a way to come here. Thank you for bringing me the magical weapon. Without that magical weapon, I would not have been able to come here. If the one who obtained my things is not my Big Brother Ning, then forget about it, he is not even famous. Ningqing put away the jade strip. In his heart he was happy for Meng Jingxiu, but at the same time he was also somewhat sad. He had seen Meng Jingxiu's mother once. At that time Meng Jingxiu's father was still in the Jia continent's cultivator army. How many years had it been? Meng Jingxiu's parents had met with an accident. When Meng Jingxiu said that she could not speak to the big academies, she should be referring to Nailan Rushue. Ningqing also knew that even if Meng Jingxiu could speak to Nailan Rushue, she would not be able to go to the Lu continent. Fortunately, Meng Jingxiu had obtained the recognition of the immortal mansion. Ningqing believed that with her qualifications, with these things, her cultivation would definitely progress much faster than him. After leaving the Angry Axe Valley, Ningqing did not immediately return to the Ping continent, rather he went to the Yixing Ocean's Pubu Island. The reason he came here was to inquire about who killed Meng Jingxiu's parents, and also to see Kong Pengpeng. When he had escaped, Kong Pengpeng had helped him a lot. What's more, he also had the title of a 5-star junior commander in the Yizheng battalion. Ningqing did not want to be too ostentatious. He used an ordinary spiritual artifact airship, but the airship was stopped at the periphery of the Pubu Island. Ningqing did not know that he had left the Yizheng battalion for so many years, but his 5-star junior commander status was still there. So when the cultivator army came up, he directly took out his 5-star junior commander's shoulder card and handed it over. I am the Yizhen Battalion's 5-star junior commander Ning Cheng. Yizhen Battalion? The two cultivator soldiers who stopped Ning Cheng were obviously a little surprised. Is there a problem? I came back from the Law's Way, because I was delayed in the Law's Way for a few years. Ning Cheng explained. The two cultivator soldiers who stopped Ning Cheng confirmed that Ning Cheng's shoulder card was correct, and showed a sympathetic look, as they invited Ning Cheng to enter the Pubu Island. Ning Cheng first arrived at his junior commander mansion, but he did not see his familiar subordinate Yang Honghua, nor did he see Nan Yuefang who he had gifted the black-silver warship to. There were only a few cultivator soldiers who he did not know standing guard at the entrance of the junior commander mansion. When Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the junior commander mansion, he found that the array formations and restrictions that he had arranged in the past were all gone. Not to mention that all of them had been cancelled, he even arranged a new restriction. Ning Cheng was not angry about this. This junior commander mansion was originally gifted to him by Kong Pengpeng. Kong Pengpeng knew that he had escaped, so it was normal for him to take this junior commander mansion and give it to his other subordinates. In any case, he was not going to stay here. This time he came here to take a look. It did not matter if he did not have this junior commander mansion or not. Since the junior commander mansion was not his, Ning Cheng simply did not enter the junior commander mansion, and directly went to Kong Pengpeng's general mansion. But what made Ning Cheng even more puzzled was that Kong Pengpeng's general mansion was sealed. Moreover, looking at the traces on it, it seemed that it had been sealed for a long time. Ning Cheng felt that something was not right. He guessed that Kong Pengpeng had committed a big crime, otherwise with Kong Pengpeng's status he should not have ended up like this. Excuse me, are you Junior Commander Ning? A somewhat uncertain voice called out. Ning Cheng saw that the one who called out to him was an early-stage true condensation cultivator, as he quickly spoke. That's right, I am the Yizhen Battalion's 5-star junior commander Ning Cheng. Chapter 395. Go to the side, this is not a place for you. Ning Cheng had just arrived outside the walls of the courtyard, when a cultivator soldier with the cultivation of true condensation realm came out and stopped Ning Cheng. At this time, the two of them had already arrived outside a small wooden building. Uncle Che Yang led Ning Cheng into the wooden building and closed the door before speaking. One of the two guards outside checking on you is a friend of mine. I told him that once Junior Commander Ning came back, he was to immediately inform me. The day before Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua were arrested, Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang came to find me. At that time, Yang Honghua was also there. He told me that Junior Commander Ning would definitely come back. Even so, after Ning Cheng entered the death cell, the entire Pubu Island still erupted with ear-piercing alarms. This alarm instantly woke up the entire Pubu Island, and countless cultivator soldiers instantly rushed towards the direction of the Pubu Island's death cell. Even several generals quickly rushed over. The Pubu Island had been fighting against the Yixing Ocean's cultivator army for many years. Moreover, it was located on an island, so this kind of quick vigilance was reflected at this moment. The Yixing Ocean's side was even more unscrupulous. It was obvious that the black-silver warship was snatched by Ning Cheng when the two sides had not yet reached a truce. But now the other party said that after both sides made peace, Nan Yuefang, in order to obtain the black-silver warship, wantonly killed the cultivators from the Yixing Ocean, and even snatched the black-silver warship. Since Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua were imprisoned in the death cell, it had nothing to do with these guards. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng stood in front of a courtyard wall covered with array formations and restrictions. From Count Che Yang's mouth, he came to know that this place was the Pubu Island's death cell. Although he had not seen Ning Cheng before, but he had heard the rumors about this Junior Commander Ning. When he was in the Essence Building realm, he had challenged the profound congealing cultivator Wei Peng, and ended up killing Wei Peng. Slowly taking in a deep breath, Ning Cheng calmed down his mood. Since he had started cultivating till now, he had even offended a super academy like the Severing Emotions Dao sect. As such a trivial cultivator army from the Pubu Island, he did not even put them in his eyes. If it was really because of him, then he did not mind turning the entire Pubu Island upside down. Did General Kong Pengpeng also end up in the death cell? Ning Qing asked in a cold voice. Logically speaking, even if the two sides had temporarily reconciled, the past should not be brought up. However, the matter of Ning Qing killing Shin Tiyun ended up causing the Yi Xing Ocean to come knocking on their door. Originally, they wanted to use some other excuse, but the Lu Continent's cultivator army pretended not to see it, and did not care about it. A soldier with the cultivation of true condensation realm, Ning Qing did not put him in his eyes. In the Pubu Island, even if there were crucible transformation experts, he would not be afraid of them. When the cultivator soldier heard that it really was Ning Qing, he quickly spoke up, "Junior Commander, please come with me." "Senior Junior Commander." Count Che Yang called out in panic. Ning Cheng's murderous intent was so intense, how could he not know what this junior commander Ning wanted to do? As for Kong Cheng, he was the one who presided over the Hua Continent's tournament of the 5-star academies, and the first time he entered the Angry Axe Valley, he was almost caught by this person. This person suspected that he had peeped into the secret of the leather scroll during the competition, and coveted the things on him, so it was normal for him to come here to find him. Nan Yuefang's hair was disheveled, and her clothes were barely covering her body as she sat in the corner of a dark cell. However, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness knew that she was not cultivating. A chain pierced through her shoulder, severing her meridians. She couldn't cultivate at all. Ning Cheng suddenly stopped. "Did you say that Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang was put on death row?" "Why? What about Yang Honghua?" Ning Cheng's tone turned cold. He was one of the 4 junior commanders of the Yizheng battalion. Even if he left, and someone else took over his junior commander position, wouldn't it be to the point of putting his number 1 general, Nan Yuefang, into the death cell? Uncle Che Yang quickly replied, "What happened after that, the entire Pubu Island knows about it." Because of this matter, General Kong Pengpeng was very angry. General Kong stood up and said that they should not have arrested Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua. As a result, because of this matter, General Kong was jointly attacked by the commander of the Yi Hai Battalion, Lao Yu, and the commander of the Chang Battle Battalion, Ni Gang, saying that Kong Pengpeng was shielding him. Nan Yuefang knew that it would be difficult for her to escape, so she engraved this jade strip. She had only asked her subordinates to deliver the jade slips with the slightest bit of hope. Because apart from Ning Cheng, she did not know anyone else who could help her. Feeling Ning Cheng's ice-cold killing intent, Count Che Yang unconsciously shuddered. Ning Cheng did not hesitate for even half a moment. The long spear in his hand shot out, and several entrapment arrays immediately shattered under his long spear-like eggshells. Speaking of which, Kong Pengpeng had helped him a lot, but now he had really implicated the other party. As Ning Cheng thought of this, he felt somewhat guilty in his heart. Ning Cheng completely understood what was going on. He knew about Lao Yu. He had heard that he was originally from the Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy. When he was in the Pubu Island, Lao Yu was a general. His nephew Lao Sheng and he had a small enmity. He estimated that under the provocation of Yong Gu Yun, this enmity would be infinitely magnified. Count Che Yang spoke with some anger. At that time, the battle took place just outside the Pubu Island, not to mention me, even the entire Pubu Island's cultivator army saw it. At that time, because the commander of the Pubu Island, General Xian Yuhong, was not there, as a result no one dared to stop it. Yang Honghua was also sent to the death row. It is estimated that he would not even have his life left. Count Che Yang carefully spoke. Thinking of the leather scroll, Ning Cheng's mind instantly flashed with countless images. Ning Cheng quickly suppressed these images. He felt that this leather scroll was not ordinary. It was just that he did not have the time to think about it, but since Kong Cheng had come knocking on his door, then he could not blame him for being impolite. If he met this fellow, then he would definitely snatch that leather scroll. However, the Tian continent's heaven's way had once again opened, and the 9 continents wanted to arrange a transmission array to reach the Tian continent, causing the cultivators from the Yi Xing Ocean to feel tempted. The Yixing Ocean's cultivator army took the initiative to make peace with the cultivator army of the 9 continents. Not only did they share the law's way, but they also jointly built the transmission array. They had only just reacted, when the next moment Ningqing blasted open the array formation, and rushed into the death row courtyard wall. In just a short time, all the cultivator soldiers who were standing were knocked unconscious by him. Ningqing himself was a junior commander of the cultivator army, as such he did not kill indiscriminately. "How did you know that I was coming?" Ningqing asked in a deep voice. Ningqing took the jade strip and swept it with his spiritual consciousness, and soon his complexion turned ugly to look at. This matter really did have something to do with him. Ningqing did not speak any nonsense, as he raised his hand and slapped the cultivator soldier, directly knocking him unconscious. As the place where the Pubu Island held the prisoners, not only were there many restrictions and array formations, but there were also a lot of cultivator soldiers guarding this place. When Ningqing knocked out a cultivator soldier in the true condensation realm, the rest of the people immediately understood that someone had broken into the prison. Count Che Yang excitedly received the essence-building pill with both hands. He had never thought that one day he would be able to get his hands on this kind of pill. The reason why he wanted to help Nan Yuefang was because Nan Yuefang was his superior in the past, and had also given them a lot of benefits. What happened to General Kong Pengpeng? Nan Yuefang's jade strip did not mention Kong Pengpeng, but Ningqing knew that Kong Pengpeng must have met with some kind of accident. Ningqing showed a faint smile. "You don't have to worry about it, I have a sense of propriety, you just have to tell me." "Right, I have an essence-building pill here, I will give it to you as a token of my gratitude." It was not until Ningqing blasted open the cell that Nan Yuefang was in, that Nan Yuefang was awakened by the loud noise, as she slowly raised her head. Ningqing nodded and spoke. "Can you tell me where the death row courtyard is?" "How did you know?" Ningqing asked again. After seeing Nan Yuefang, Ningqing finally saw Yang Honghua. What made Ningqing feel relieved was that Yang Honghua was crawling on the floor of another cell, but he was not dead, as there was also a chain running through Yang Honghua's meridians. Moreover, Ningqing did not know what kind of opportunity Yang Honghua had obtained, which allowed him to advance to the essence-building first level. Otherwise, Ningqing estimated that he would have died a long time ago. Although Ningqing had once served as a junior commander in the Pubu Island, but he was not a steward, not to mention that he did not know where the death row courtyard was. He was not even clear about the direction of the commander's mansion. After entering the death row courtyard, Ningqing's spiritual consciousness swept out unscrupulously, and in just a few breaths, he was able to find Nan Yuefang's position. "It's Junior Commander Ji, called Ji Minkai. I heard that he already has the cultivation of second level of sea opening realm." Count Che Yang replied with some worry. He could hear that Ningqing's tone was not good. "I am called Count Che Yang, originally under the Yizheng Battalion's Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang. After Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang was sent to the death row courtyard, I left the barracks, and now became a small merchant." As the cultivator soldier walked, he spoke in a low voice. Count Che Yang did not speak, but took out a jade strip and handed it to Ningqing and spoke. "Junior Commander Sir, this was left behind by Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang. She said that if you came back, then I would give it to you. If you did not come back, then when I left the Pubu Island, I would destroy it." "No." Count Che Yang quickly replied. General Kong knew that someone wanted to deal with him, and immediately escaped from the Pubu Island. The result was that he was besieged by General Lao Yu and General Ni Gang, as well as Kong Cheng from the Jia Continent's Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy, and finally disappeared without a trace. The problem was that he had killed a profound congealing cultivator from the Yixing Ocean by the name of Shintu Yun, and had even snatched away that person's black-silver warship. But this Shintu Yun's background was not small, and was a person from the Yixing Ocean's Mu Imperial Palace. Originally, the Yixing Ocean's cultivator army and the 9 continents cultivator army were like fire and water, but this was not a big deal. Ningqing had a bad premonition in his heart. Yang Honghua and Nan Yuefang were both from his junior commander battalion. Even if something happened to Nan Yuefang, how could it be such a coincidence that Yang Honghua also met with an accident? Moreover, Ni Gang's subordinate Wei Peng had engaged in a life-and-death battle with him on the battle ring, which resulted in Wei Peng being killed by him, causing Ni Gang and Kong Peng Peng to form an enmity with him. Who is in charge of the Pubu Island now, and what is the cultivation level? When Ning Qing spoke these words, he had already planned to make a scene here. Did he kill the wrong enemy in the past? Moreover, for an enemy that he had killed, he even imprisoned his own subordinate. Ning Qing put away the jade strip, as a murderous intent rose in his heart. Since the Lu Continent's cultivator army did not care about this kind of thing, then there was definitely a problem. The Yixing Ocean's cultivator army was not as strong as the Nine Continents cultivator army. Even if they made peace, it was impossible for the Nine Continents cultivator army to ignore this kind of thing, unless someone was covering it up from the inside. Ning Qing nodded. You speak, what is the specific matter? Even the place of General Kong Peng Peng was sealed. Chapter 396. Bang! An explosive sound erupted, as Ni Gang was abruptly blasted into pieces by the spear. Ning Qing casually grabbed a ring. Among the people in front of him, he had seen several of them before, but the only one he could name was Ni Gang. Ni Gang was the commander-in-chief of the Chang Battle Battalion, and at this time had a cultivation at the peak of the Soul Essence realm. Among the cultivator army, the highest cultivation was at the second level of Sea Opening realm. No matter who you are, since you forcibly broke open my Pubu Island's death prison, then you are the enemy of my Jia Continent's cultivator army. I heard that you were originally from the Jia Continent's cultivator army. I do not want you to continue making mistakes. If you are willing to surrender, then I can give you the fairest result. The cultivator at the second level of Sea Opening realm spoke in a calm tone. If not for the cultivator army's opinion on this matter, he would have already started. Ning Qing patted his shoulder and spoke, those people are already here. I already know how you and Junior Marquis Nan came here. These words can be said later. Let's go out first. Ning Qing was simply too lazy to answer this voice. He brought Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua out of the death prison, only to find that the outside was surrounded by countless cultivator soldiers. When Yang Honghua saw the Jia Continent's cultivator army outside, his face turned pale. But Nan Yuefang did not change much. In any case, it would not be as desperate as when she was trapped in the death prison. She glanced at Ning Qing in front of her, and was somewhat worried in her heart that this junior commander Ning would also be dragged in. Ji Minkai was very depressed in his heart. He was the one who stirred up trouble. When Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua were imprisoned, he was not a member of the Jia Continent's cultivator army. At that time, it was Xian Yuhang who made the decision. Xian Yuhang's cultivation was higher than his, and his status was also higher than his. In front of the Jia Continent's cultivator army, to offend two small characters, he was not willing to do so. Just as he was about to speak, Ning Qing once again spoke in a cold voice. It is not that I do not want to kill people, but from now on, if you are not willing to associate with Ni Gang and Lao Yu, then please step back, otherwise I will treat you all as the enemy of the Yizheng battalion. The reason why Ning Qing dared to say these words, was because he knew that Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua's meridians were only cut halfway, and were not broken. If it was really destroyed, there was nothing he could do. That would require the amethyst firmament glaze essence. He still had some amethyst firmament glaze essence left, but it was not enough to save the two of them. However, even if his meridians were to be cut off midway, he could still use the profound replenishment pill to reconnect them. This was completely different from elder sister Shu's situation. After understanding this, Ji Minsai's back suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. That was close. If he had really given the order or taken action, it would have been very difficult for him to get away with it. No wonder he dared to destroy the Pubu Island's death prison. This kind of cultivation was enough to sweep away the entire Pubu Island. Junior Commander Ning, my meridians. Nan Yuefang's joy only lasted for a few breaths, before she once again turned gloomy. Regardless of whether Ning Qing could save her or not, she was already crippled. Speaking till here, this bald-headed man seemed to be extremely angry, as he bowed towards the cultivator at the sea opening second level and spoke, Commander Ji, Ni Gang requests to go to war. He requests to capture this lawless thief and interrogate him, and ask him where Kong Peng Peng escaped to in the end. A trivial junior commander dares to attack the Pubu Island's cultivator army's death prison. A soul essence 9th level cultivator with a pale face, subconsciously took a few steps back. Ning Qing immediately knew that this person was definitely Lao Yu. Ning Qing casually took out a robe and handed it to Nan Yuefang and spoke, "You do not have to worry about your meridians, even if your core lake is broken, I still have a way to deal with it. You can change your clothes first, and wait for me to rescue Yang Honghua." Junior Commander Ning, we. Yang Honghua was convinced that the person who had come to save him was really Ning Cheng, and immediately became excited. Nan Yuefang finally recognized Ning Cheng, although she had left behind a jade strip before coming in, but it was only a helpless action. She had never thought that Ning Cheng would really be able to come here. Two small axes, one in front of the other, shot towards Lao Yu, while Ning Cheng's long spear once again cut through the space between him and Lao Yu. "This has nothing to do with me." Someone wanted Kong Peng Peng's spiritual enhancement true nectar, and then looked for. Lao Yu's words suddenly stopped, as a black long spear pierced through his glabella. One move, or rather it was not even a single move. In just half a move, Ning Cheng had killed Ni Gang, the commander of the Jia Continent's cultivator army. At this moment, almost all the cultivator soldiers had their mouths wide open as they stared at Ning Cheng. Was this really the cultivation of Crucible Transformation realm? Ni Gang's bravery was well known in the Pubu Island. Fortunately, Ning Cheng had a lot of pills on him, as such after removing Yang Honghua's chains, he only needed to consume a single pill, and Yang Honghua immediately woke up. "This person is the Pubu Island's new junior commander Ji Minkai. I heard that he came from the Lu continent." Yang Honghua whispered from behind Ning Cheng. Ji Minkai originally wanted to speak, but when he saw many of the soldiers from the Yizheng battalion taking the initiative to retreat, he immediately felt his heart move, and did not continue to speak. Since things had already happened, why would he continue to be a villain? Coming to the Jia Continent's cultivator army for a few years, in the future he would have to go to Heaven's Way. If Ni Gang could kill this junior commander Ning, then he would be happy to see it happen. After killing the two commanders, Ning Cheng acted as if nothing had happened, as he put away the ring and walked towards Ji Minkai. The cultivator at the second level of Sea Opening Realm could vaguely see that Ning Cheng's cultivation was not as high as his, although he was not sure about it, but seeing Ning Cheng's young appearance made him feel relieved. In case someone with a higher cultivation than him, and the Pubu Island did not have any Crucible Transformation cultivators, it would definitely not be a good thing. Lao Yu had personally seen the process of Ning Cheng killing Ni Gang. He was just about to escape, when he felt the space around him stagnate. A black and a gold axe light completely wrapped around him, he simply did not have any way to escape. In the past, when Kong Peng Peng was forced to leave, there was no one to take the lead, but now that Ning Cheng stood up, no one was willing to sell their lives for Ni Gang. Even the new commander of the Yizheng battalion did not have to stand up. "Commander Ji, if this matter is not dealt with seriously, then my Jia Continent's cultivator army would be in a state of disunity, there would no longer be any military laws." Seeing Ji Minkai hesitate, Ni Gang once again spoke up. Ning Cheng had long wanted to kill this guy, but he did not expect that before he could even go up, this guy would actually take the initiative to come up. Bringing out a black spear, it rolled up an ice net spear light. Among the cultivator soldiers, there were also some from the Yizheng battalion. Hearing Ning Cheng's words, the people from the Yizheng battalion immediately took the initiative to retreat. The cultivator army and the ordinary army were not the same. Even if they were not part of the cultivator army, they could still find a place to cultivate. It was not a big deal. Ning Cheng's words immediately aroused a burst of discussion. The matter of Kong Peng Peng's battalion, there were not many people who did not know about it. For the sake of the enemies from the Yixing Ocean, the people of the Pubu Island unexpectedly plotted against their own people. In fact, there were only a few people who approved of this matter. But since Kong Peng Peng was forced to retreat, then Ni Gang and Lao Yu wanted to kill two small cultivators without any roots or foundation. It was simply too simple. Ni Gang brought out a huge long blade, but under the endless spear lights, it was simply unable to break through, but the spear lights of the long spear did not even slow down for even half a moment. In just a moment, it turned into an icicle-like spear shadow, as it blew apart the long blade, and rumbled through Ni Gang's chest. Ji Min knew that Ning Cheng must be captured and killed, but the matter of Nan Yuefang was something that almost all the cultivator army of the Jia continent was aware of. He did not expect that Ning Cheng would announce this matter so loudly. At this time he regretted not killing Nan Yuefang and Yang Hongho. If he had killed these two people earlier, then there would not have been such a thing today. Now that Nan Yuefang and Yang Hongho appeared again, it was tantamount to reminding everyone of this matter. If this matter was not handled properly, then it would not be a good thing for the Jia continent's cultivator army. Ji Min subconsciously took a few steps back, while simultaneously using his spiritual consciousness to lock onto his own magical weapon. As long as Ning Cheng made his move, he would immediately counterattack. After Ning Cheng heard about the spiritual enhancement True Nectar, he knew that there really was another reason for this matter. It was definitely because Kong Peng Peng, in order to collect the necessary materials to advance to the soul sculpting realm, had sold some spiritual enhancement True Nectar, and ended up being found out. Then he conveniently used the matter of him killing Shin Tu Yun to plot against Kong Peng Peng. Nan Yuefang's voice came from behind. "Thank you, I'm all right, Junior Commander had just saved me." At this time, a voice filled with dense killing intent arrived. "Who dares to break into my Pubu Island's cultivator army's death prison?" "Humph, a bunch of nonsense." A bald-headed man coldly snorted and stood up. "Before Yizheng Battalion's General Kong Peng Peng escaped from the Jia continent's cultivator army, and now a trivial junior commander like you dares to attack the Pubu Island's death prison." Ning Cheng did not directly answer Ji Min's words, but suddenly spoke out in a clear voice. "To all the soldiers of the Jia continent's cultivator army, I am Yizheng Battalion's 5-star junior commander Ning Cheng, and can also be said to be a member of the Jia continent's cultivator army. Because of this, when I forcibly broke open the prison cell, I did not kill a single person. It is not that I do not want to kill people, but because every injustice has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. In the past when I went to the law's way, how my subordinates Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang and Senior Captain Yang Hongho were framed, I do not think that I need to explain it to anyone. Therefore, today I am here to seek justice." He had never seen Ning Cheng before, although he was relieved, but he did not let the people swarm him. Regarding this matter, he was very clear about it. Although Nan Yuefang and Yang Hongho were wrongly accused, but it was not his business, someone else would come forward to deal with the person who broke the prison cell. When Ji Min saw Ning Cheng kill Ni Gang so easily, he felt his heart tremble. Even if he wanted to kill Ni Gang, it would not be so simple. This junior commander Ning's cultivation was definitely higher than his. Ji Min knew that he had to take down Ning Cheng in front of everyone, and then turn Nan Yuefang's matter into a small matter. "Lao Yu, stand up for me." After Ning Cheng killed Ni Gang, his mood was a lot better, as his eyes once again swept over the cultivator army surrounding him. "I am your original junior commander Ning Cheng." Ning Cheng spoke, as he punched open the prison cell, and broke the chains on Nan Yuefang's body. "Are you Junior Commander Ning Cheng?" Unlike Nan Yuefang, although Ning Cheng had changed a little, Yang Hongho was still able to recognize Ning Cheng in an instant. "Junior Marquis Nan, are you alright? I am not dead yet, Junior Marquis has helped me a lot." Yang Hongho remembered Nan Yuefang, and anxiously asked. "You are?" Nan Yuefang looked at Ning Cheng absent-mindedly. She felt that Ning Cheng was very familiar, but she did not know who he was. She was still thinking in her heart, who dared to directly break open the Pubu Island's death cell? This person's courage was really not ordinary. Nan Yuefang could still move, but Yang Hongho was not even able to move, as his injuries were much more serious than Nan Yuefang's. Seeing Ji Min not speaking, Ni Gang gave a cold snort, as he took a step forward, and in a blink of an eye arrived in front of Ning Cheng, while simultaneously bringing out a huge blade. Chapter 397. Commander Ji, in the past, Ni Gang and Lao Yu had wrongly accused a meritorious person, and were blinded by greed. Cutting off Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua's meridians, chaining them and throwing them into the death prison, shouldn't Commander Ji give an explanation for this matter? Ning Qing stared at Ji Minkai and asked in a cold voice. Ji Minkai, on seeing that Ning Qing did not immediately start, felt relieved in his heart. For an expert of Ning Cheng's level, even if the cultivator army besieged him, it would still be in vain. What's more, the cultivator army would not necessarily stand on his side to besiege him. Even if they started, he estimated that they would only agree on the surface but oppose on the inside. The most important thing was that he did not want to fight with Ning Qing. This matter was not related to him at all. This matter is really regrettable. I have not been here for a long time. Originally I was going to deal with this matter, but because the Pubu Island had too many things to deal with. Although this matter was not caused by my hands, but I still feel very apologetic towards Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang and Senior Captain Yang Honghua. I will definitely give them justice. Ji Minkai not only vaguely explained to Ning Qing that this matter had nothing to do with him, but he also completely forgot about the matter of whoever broke into the Pubu Island's death prison. Ning Qing also did not want to kill a river of blood in the Pubu Island. Since Ji Minkai said so, he no longer spoke any nonsense. This matter had nothing to do with Ji Minkai, as such he did not want to offend the Jia Continent's cultivator army. Once he killed Ji Minkai, he would have to face the pursuit of the Crucible Transformation cultivators, which would not bring him many benefits. As for him killing Ni Gang and Lao Yu, Ning Qing believed that even if the Lu Continent's cultivator army wanted to deal with him, it would only be a matter of a long time later. If no one came to help Ni Gang and Lao Yu, then killing these two people would be equivalent to killing two chickens. As for justice, I believe that Commander Ji can definitely achieve it. Now that Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua's meridians were destroyed, I do not know what Commander Ji thinks about this matter. Ning Qing stared at Ji Minkai and slowly spoke. Ji Minkai's heart sank. He thought that Ning Qing wanted to find fault with him. But seeing that Ning Qing did not seem to have any intention to start, he clenched his teeth and said, "The matter between Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua really makes people sigh, but the strength of the Pubu Island is limited, as such they are unable to come up with a pill to restore the meridians." Ji Minkai was just about to ask for the Lu Continent's cultivator army's opinion, when Ning Qing interrupted him. "Commander Ji, how about this? Let's just forget about the broken meridians. You can also represent the Pubu Island to give us some compensation. What does Commander Ji think?" As he spoke the last sentence, Ning Cheng's imposing aura had already started to oppress him. Since he was killed by Ning Qing, then even if he did not want to count the matter of his meridians being broken, Ning Qing now wanted compensation. Ji Minkai hurriedly spoke up, "I can represent the Jia Continent's cultivator army, and for the two of them each come up with 500,000 high-grade spirit stones, a medium-grade spiritual artifact flight-type magical weapon, a high-grade spiritual artifact attack-type magical weapon. For a place like the Pubu Island, the things that Ji Minkai had brought out were already very rich. It could even be said that it was enough to arouse the greed of a soul essence cultivator." Ning Qing turned to Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua at his side and asked, "Do you want to continue staying here, or do you want to come with me?" Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua did not hesitate to reply, "We are willing to go with Junior Commander." As long as they were not fools, it was impossible for them to want to stay here. Ning Qing cupped his fists towards Ji Minkai and spoke, "The compensation will be according to Commander Ji's words. We will not disturb Commander Ji." Ji Minkai felt relieved at the same time, and quickly took out 2 rings and handed them to Ning Qing. Ning Qing turned his hand and handed the 2 rings to the 2 excited people, and then cupped his fists towards Ji Minkai and spoke, "Many thanks to Commander Ji for handling this matter fairly. Before I leave, I would like to ask Commander Ji, where is Kong Cheng from the Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy?" Ji Minkai finally understood that Ning Qing had not completely given up. He still wanted to look for Kong Cheng. However, this matter was not related to him. He had already settled it on his side. Whether Kong Cheng lived or died, what did it have to do with him? Kong Cheng is not in the Celestial Globe Academy. He should have gone to the Tian continent. I heard that the Celestial Globe Academy gave him a quota to go to the Tian continent. Ji Minkai replied without hiding anything. Ning Cheng had originally planned to go to the Jia continent's celestial globe 7-star academy, but since Kong Cheng was not there, then there was no need for him to go there. Taking out a low-grade flight-type true artifact, he let Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua board the airship, and instantly rushed out of the Pubu Island. When Ji Minkai saw Ning Cheng's low-grade true artifact flight-type magical weapon, he was even more glad in his heart that he did not start a fight with Ning Cheng. Generally speaking, if one had a low-grade true artifact flight-type magical weapon, then how many of them would be good to provoke? Junior Commander Ning. Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua had thought that they would die without a doubt. They did not expect that there would be light at the end of the tunnel, as Ning Cheng suddenly came to save them. After coming out of the Pubu Island, the two of them immediately came to thank Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, "You can call me Ning Cheng from now on. That junior commander is already a thing of the past, and I do not care about it. Here are 2 profound replenishment pills. You can first go to the inner cabin to connect your meridians, and then we can talk again. Elder brother Ning, I can still restore my cultivation." Yang Honghua's hand that was holding the profound replenishment pill was trembling. He had just obtained 500,000 spirit stones, and was ready to give it to Ning Cheng. He had already lost his cultivation, as such these things would be useless to him. Ning Cheng patted his shoulder and spoke, "Don't worry, go ahead." "Thank you, senior apprentice brother Ning." Nan Yuefang knew a lot more than Yang Honghua. She knew that the profound replenishment pill was a rank 5 profound pill, and was very difficult to obtain, but she did not expect that Ning Cheng would even give this kind of pill to them. After the two of them went in to restore their cultivation, Ning Cheng called out Ning Rulan. "Big brother, did we come out of the Angry Axe Valley?" Knowing the disparity between herself and the cultivators here, Ning Rulan had been cultivating every day, and was constantly making progress. At this time, she was already at Qi Gathering 6th level. "And, this time my harvest was not small, and I also took a trip to the Pubu Island." After Ning Cheng told Ning Rulan everything about the Pubu Island, Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua came out feeling refreshed. "Senior apprentice brother Ning, she is." Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua looked at Ning Rulan who was standing beside Ning Cheng, and asked in a puzzled manner. With the help of the profound replenishment pill, it only took them half a day to reconnect their meridians. In just half a day, how could there be another person here? Ning Cheng had not yet spoken, when Ning Rulan stood up and spoke, "My name is Ning Rulan, Ning Cheng is my big brother." "Greetings senior apprentice sister Yuefang, senior apprentice brother Yang Honghua." Hearing that she was Ning Cheng's little sister, the two of them quickly came forward to return the greeting. Ning Rulan only had the cultivation of Qi Gathering 6th level, but Ning Cheng had saved their lives, as such they could not neglect him. "Do you know about General Kong Peng Peng? Can you tell me about it?" Ning Cheng was still somewhat worried about Kong Peng Peng. He did not know if Kong Peng Peng had advanced to the soul sculpting realm. If he had not advanced, then with 3 soul essence experts besieging him, who knows if he would really be able to escape. Nan Yuefang said, "General Kong Peng Peng, because of his military merits, has a quota to go to the Tian continent." So when people besieged Kong Peng Peng, no one stood up to oppose it. After all, the quota is limited. With one less person, the competition would also be less. Ning Cheng knew that Nan Yuefang should not know about the matter regarding the spiritual enhancement True Nectar. For a person of Kong Peng Peng's level, to be besieged by the other generals, there was definitely someone behind it. He had previously heard from Jia Lingwei that the Gui clan and the cultivator army of the 9 continents were on good terms, as such this matter might also have the shadow of the Gui clan. "Senior apprentice brother Ning, where are we going now?" Hearing Nan Yuefang call Ning Cheng as senior apprentice brother, Yang Honghua also changed the way he addressed him as senior apprentice brother. Ning Cheng first took out a few jade bottles and handed them to Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua. "These are the pills for your cultivation, including the profound life pill." "Ah." Hearing the words profound life pill, Nan Yuefang's hands trembled, and almost could not hold the jade bottles in her hands. Even if she worked hard for a few decades in the Pubu Island, she would not necessarily be able to get her hands on the profound life pill, but Ning Cheng actually casually gave it to her. And, I still have some ways to obtain pills, for me it is not something precious. This time I am going back to the Ping continent to collect some debts, and then cultivate for a period of time. Once my cultivation goes up, I intend to go to the Tian continent. If you are willing, I can also take you to the Tian continent. Ning Cheng had not finished his words, when Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua firmly spoke up. Senior apprentice brother Ning, we are willing to follow you. The quota to go to the Tian continent, even the soul essence cultivators of the Pubu Island would have to fight for it. Since Ning Cheng said that he was willing to take them with him, this kind of thing, how could they not be willing? As for whether or not Ning Cheng could reach the Tian continent, Yang Honghua and Nan Yuefang did not doubt it at all. Since Ning Cheng could instantly kill the two generals, then he definitely had a formidable strength. Senior apprentice brother Ning, the greatest fortune in my life, is to be together with you. In the past when you were fighting against the Yi Xing Ocean's cultivator army, I knew that you would definitely be extraordinary. I really did not misread you. Yang Honghua's eyes turned red with excitement. Nan Yuefang did not like to talk much, but in the face of this kind of opportunity, she was unable to restrain herself. Fortunately, I joined your junior commander, otherwise I would have been lost in the Pubu Island for the rest of my life. Ning Cheng stood up and spoke, since we are all on the same side, I will take you to join a big academy. In the future, if I am not in the academy, my younger sister Rulin will still need your help. Big brother, wherever you go, I will follow. Ning Rulin quickly spoke up. Ning Cheng gave a smile. Under normal circumstances, I would definitely stay in the academy. It's just that I need a lot of resources for my cultivation. If the academy does not have them, then I might have to leave the academy to look for them, but I will be back soon. At this time, it would be more important for you to stay in the academy and cultivate. He had already decided that after he used up the 3 crystal stones left behind by Meng Jingxiu, his cultivation would definitely rise to another level. As long as he could fight against a crucible transformation cultivator, then even if he brought a few people into the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, there would not be any problems. Presumably, Rui Baishan would also give him some face. We've arrived. Ning Cheng's airship landed outside the Zhanglu city of the Changqing province. As he looked at the mottled city walls, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. When he had first left this place, he had been chased by a lot of people. Now that he had arrived here many years later, it was truly hard to describe his mood. Big brother, the spiritual qi here is very thin. Big brother, what's wrong with you? Ning Rulin was used to cultivating inside the spiritual gathering array, so when she arrived here, she immediately felt that the spiritual qi here was very thin. However, she immediately stopped her words, as she felt that her big brother's expression was somewhat wrong. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness fell onto a woman wearing a blue robe, causing his face to turn red with excitement. Luofei had really come back. Chapter 398. At this time, Luo Fei had the cultivation of true condensation 9th level, although he did not dare to say that she was invincible in the Changqing province, but it was still impossible for anyone to dare to do anything to her. However, Ning Cheng found some array formations around the black stone house that he and Luo Fei lived in. Ning Cheng felt sure that these array formations were not arranged by Luo Fei. Luo Fei alone could not arrange these rank 3 array formations. Moreover, these array formations not only contained monitoring array formations but also entrapment formations. Even if Luofei wanted to arrange an array formation, it was impossible for her to arrange an entrapment formation around her house. Luofei stood in the middle of the courtyard of the stone house, holding something in her hands. Her eyes looked a bit bleak. Ning Cheng could tell from the aura emanating from her that Luofei had not cultivated at all in this place. Rulin, you come with Yuefang. I'll go see Luofei first. Ning Cheng spoke as his figure flashed into the city and disappeared in an instant. Ning Rulin finally understood why her big brother's expression had changed. It turned out that sister-in-law Luofei had truly returned. She saw Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua looking at her with a puzzled expression, as she quickly gave a smile and spoke, "Let's walk a bit slower, my big brother saw sister-in-law, so he was a bit excited. At this time, they must have a lot to talk about. Let's go there later." Nan Yuefang nodded. Her spiritual consciousness had already seen Ning Qing enter a stone house, causing her to quickly take back her spiritual consciousness. "Luofei." Ning Cheng's abrupt voice immediately woke up Ji Luofei, who was standing in the middle of the courtyard in a daze. She instantly turned around and stared at Ning Cheng. Why did she see Ning Cheng come back? But she clearly saw Ning Cheng come back, so why didn't she dare to recognize him? "Luofei, it's Ning Cheng, I'm back." Ning Cheng, on seeing Ji Luofei's surprised, panicked and somewhat hesitant face, felt some pity in his heart. She must have experienced some changes after advancing to the soul essence realm, but Luofei did not dare to confirm it. "Pata." The things in Ji Luofei's hands fell to the ground and immediately scattered. It turned out to be some paper money and sacrificial items. "Ning Cheng." Ji Luofei's lips trembled. She finally understood that she had not seen it wrong. Ning Cheng had truly returned. This kind of feeling that came from the bottom of her heart made her sure that the person in front of her was Ning Cheng, her fiancé. He was also the person she had been waiting for. Woo! When Ning Cheng arrived in front of her, Ji Luofei could no longer bear it and threw herself into Ning Cheng's arms. She tightly hugged Ning Cheng, and other than sobbing, could not even utter a single word. Feeling the trembling of Ji Luofei in his arms, Ning Cheng's heart was also surging with emotions. Fortunately, he chose to return to the Ping continent. Otherwise, how could he see Luofei? The two no longer spoke and quietly hugged each other. Not knowing for how long, Ning Cheng finally patted Luofei's back and spoke, "Luofei, we should be happy. I will not leave you behind to go to some mystic realm again." The last time he had thrown Luofei into the Angry Axe Valley, Ning Cheng had always blamed himself. If not for that old woman saving Luofei, then perhaps he might have really lost Luofei. When Ji Luofei heard Ning Cheng's words, her body once again trembled. She raised her head from Ning Cheng's bosom. Ning Cheng saw the fear in Ji Luofei's eyes. He slowly removed the black veil covering Ji Luofei's face and spoke, "Luofei, you don't have to worry about it in the future." Ning Cheng's words suddenly stopped, as he saw a peerlessly beautiful face. Apart from a slightly pale oval face, it did not have even the slightest trace of smoke and fire. That delicate and elegant aura assaulted his senses, causing Ning Cheng to feel a burst of suffocation. There was not even a shred of makeup on her face, yet people could see that she was a peerless and refined beauty. Although she was in his arms, Ning Cheng felt that Luofei was like a fairy that was about to leave him and ride the wind. Those slightly hesitant and worried eyes almost melted Ning Cheng's heart. Whether or not beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, Ning Cheng had only seen this kind of beauty in Shi Qionghua's body. However, Luofei's beauty and Shi Qionghua's beauty could not be overlapped at all. "Luofei, you are so beautiful." Other than this kind of tacky words, Ning Cheng really could not find the right words to describe Luofei in his arms. After Ji Luofei, who was originally hesitant, heard Ning Cheng's words, the fear and uneasiness in her eyes completely disappeared. It was as if she had put down some other things, and her eyes even showed some joy. "Aunt Gongsun saved me, she helped me restore my appearance. Now that you like it, I am the happiest." Ning Cheng felt excited, and was just about to speak when his complexion suddenly changed. Feeling the change in Ning Cheng's mood, Ji Luofei worriedly grabbed Ning Cheng's hand. She guessed that Ning Cheng had already discovered something. "Luofei, who placed a spiritual consciousness mark on you, or a restriction seal mark?" Ning Cheng had not even finished his words, when the murderous aura around his body suddenly turned sharp. He could feel the familiarity of the restriction seal mark. He knew who placed it, moreover, it was the most vicious spiritual consciousness seal mark. He had even looked for Na Xinlan from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy for this matter. As such, there were still 2 boxes of the power of hope undergarments in his ring. Na Xinlan certainly would not do such a thing, and presumably, the person from the Wu Nian Academy would also not do such a thing. For such a thing, other than Gue Feng of the Gue clan, there was absolutely no one else. Gue clan, the murderous intent in Ning Cheng's heart was getting more and more intense. He had originally said that he would settle this matter after his cultivation had reached a higher level, but he did not expect that the Gue clan would take the initiative to find him. If he had not come back in time, then the result, Ning Cheng could not help but feel fear. The powerful murderous intent caused Ji Luofei, who was in Ning Cheng's arms, to shiver. She subconsciously tightened her arms around Ning Cheng and spoke, "Being able to see you again, I am already very happy. It shows that my choice was not wrong. You will definitely come back. Did you know about it?" Ning Cheng quickly converged the murderous intent in his body, as he lovingly stroked Ji Luofei's long hair. "And, someone placed a spiritual consciousness mark on me, and even trapped me in an entrapment array formation. However, I was not the only one in the Tsanglu city who ended up with a spiritual consciousness mark. The other women were also brought to the Tsangqin 2-Star Academy, where they were all gathered together. I request to stay here alone, otherwise I will end my own life." Ji Luofei's voice trembled a little. Originally, she had already accepted the idea of dying, as such she did not feel much fear in her heart. However, now that Ning Cheng had really come back, she also wanted to be together with Ning Cheng. Once she had a reason to live, the fear in her heart was magnified infinitely. Ning Cheng's hand casually patted Ji Luofei's body a few times, as his true essence instantly surrounded the spiritual consciousness mark on Ji Luofei's shoulder. In just 1 or 2 breaths of time, Ning Cheng managed to grab the spiritual consciousness mark on Ji Luofei's shoulder. The next moment, Ning Cheng had already placed the spiritual consciousness mark on Ji Luofei's shoulder into a jade box, while simultaneously putting away the jade box. Ji Luofei, who felt her whole body become incomparably relaxed, looked up at Ning Cheng in amazement and spoke, "Ning Cheng, you helped me remove the spiritual consciousness mark? Is it that simple?" Ning Cheng nodded, "Luofei, you don't have to worry about it. I have not removed the array formation outside, so let it be. I have already seen the women gathered in the Tsangqin Academy, and they seem to be very happy. That's because they did not know about it. The news that they received was that there was a major academy in an intermediate class continent that needed some outer sect female disciples. Gathering them together was just an inspection, to see who qualified, and who did not." Ji Luofei's words immediately made Ning Cheng understand. In this corner of the Tsangqin province, if a major academy from an intermediate class continent wanted to recruit disciples, who would not be willing? This was equivalent to a pie in the sky. Or rather, it was something that they wanted to obtain even in their dreams. Therefore, it was normal for these women to be happy. Whether it was because of him or not, since the Gue clan found Luofei, he decided to settle the accounts. "It's really strange, when there is a spiritual consciousness mark, I always want to light some incense." Ji Luofei seemed to have felt the changes in her body. "I'll explain it to you later." Ning Cheng finished, and called out towards the door, "Rulan, you can also come in." Only then did Ji Luofei realize that Ning Cheng was not alone. She then saw 3 people walking in. Ning Rulan looked at Ji Luofei in shock. Tian Muwen and her were both beauties. Therefore, she did not care about the so-called beauties. Apart from Tian Muwen, she really had not seen any beauty that could make her exclaim. However, she had never seen a woman as beautiful as Ji Luofei. Was this her sister-in-law? Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua on seeing Ji Luofei also secretly marveled in their hearts, Ning Cheng's wife turned out to be so beautiful. "Sister-in-law Luofei, you really are beautiful, the most beautiful woman I have ever seen." Ning Rulan quickly walked over. "Sister-in-law." Ji Luofei looked at Ning Cheng in doubt, why did this woman call her sister-in-law? Ning Cheng quickly spoke up, "Rulan, Luofei and I are not married yet, from now on you can just call me elder sister Luofei." "Luofei, it's a long story, I'll tell it to you later." After Ning Qing explained to Luofei, he also introduced Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua. After the introductions, Ning Qing turned to Yang Honghua and said, "You go to the Tsanglu city and find a big place to live. We will be staying in the Tsanglu city for a while." Yang Honghua immediately responded and went out. "I'll go too." Nan Yuefang could see that Ning Qing, Ji Luofei and his sister had a lot to talk about, as such it would not be convenient for her to stay here. An hour later, Ning Qing finally spoke out everything that had happened to him. Ji Luofei looked at Ning Qing in a daze. She had thought that Ning Qing would change so much after his family was destroyed. It turned out that he had lived 2 lives. "I'm sorry Luofei, I never told you before." Ning Qing seeing Ji Luofei in a daze, he apologetically stood up. Ji Luofei could see that Ning Rulan and Ning Qing had a very good relationship. She had always thought that the two of them were only brother and sister, but in fact, it was not the case. Now after listening to Ning Cheng's words, she finally understood that Ning Rulan was truly Ning Cheng's little sister. Hearing Ning Cheng's apology, Ji Luofei immediately reacted. Even ignoring Ning Rulan, who was sitting next to her, she also stood up and tightly hugged Ning Cheng. She now fully understood why Ning Cheng had changed so much. It turned out to be because of this. However, whether Ning Cheng had reincarnated into his past life or not, it did not matter to her. She only knew that she liked the person she was hugging. Ji Luofei's actions clearly showed her thoughts. Ning Cheng gently caressed Ji Luofei's hair and spoke, "Luofei, you must have had a hard time these years. Tell me, how did you come here? Also, when were the restrictions placed on your body?" Chapter 399. Ji Luofei gradually calmed down. After sitting down and sorting out her thoughts, she spoke, "After you went to the Angry Axe Valley, I went to the God Wind Academy. Elder Lu took good care of me. Not only did he give me a separate immortal cave, he also sent people to take care of the spiritual grass garden outside the immortal cave. Because of the things you left behind, my cultivation speed was very fast. But the good times did not last long. The God Wind Academy was attacked. When I thought that it would be difficult to escape, Senior Gongsun came. She said that she was your friend, and forced the people who attacked the God Wind Academy to retreat, but she did not kill them, and just took me away." Ning Cheng had heard about these things from Dean Man of the Falling Star Academy, and hearing it from Luofei, he felt even more grateful towards that white-haired old woman. If not for that white-haired old woman, the God Wind Academy and Luofei would have disappeared. Because he was worried about Luofei, he did not have the time to go to the Hua continent. In the future, when he left the Ping continent, he would definitely go to the Hua continent. "Senior Gongsun helped me a lot, and now she helped you. I owe her a big favor." Ning Qing nodded, and in his heart, he had already remembered the favor of this white-haired old woman. N. Ji Luofei continued, "Senior Gongsun seemed to be injured, and had been healing herself. When I cultivated to the true condensation 9th level, her injuries were already healed. She said that it would be difficult to get the things she wanted, and that she should leave the Yixing mainland, and asked me if I wanted to go to the Tian continent. I said that I would go back to the Tsanglu city to wait for you. She sent me to the Tsanglu city, and then left. I guess she went to the Tian continent. When I came back, I was at the true condensation 9th level, and the Tsangqin province's royal family did not dare to do anything to me. However, I had only lived in the Tsanglu city for a year, when I felt that the outside of my residence was being monitored by an array formation, and I also felt that I was being marked with a spiritual consciousness tag. Together with Senior Gongsun, I met with some experts. I knew that even if I wanted to escape, I would not be able to. Moreover, I was afraid that if I left, you would not be able to find me. Luofei, you don't have to worry, since I'm back, leave these things to me." Ning Qing heard Ji Luofei's worry, and once again comforted her. "It's not." Ji Luofei's eyes turned red. "Luofei, it's not. I didn't want to." They intentionally or unintentionally revealed that it was an order from a Sea Expansion Realm Senior. I. After a moment of hesitation, Madame Luofei suddenly stood up and said, "My husband, the two of us will stay here. Let Sister Rulin go first." She knew that Ning Cheng would definitely not abandon her, but she could not drag down Ning Cheng's younger sister, Ruolan. She was very clear about what a sea-opening realm cultivator was. It was an existence that she could not even look up to. Ning Cheng finally understood what Ji Luofei was worried about. She feared that even if the powerhouse in the sea-opening realm came, he would not be able to escape. Luofei changed the way she addressed him as Lord Husband because she wanted to marry him before that sea-opening realm cultivator arrived. "Sister Luofei, is that person really that powerful?" Ning Rulin could not help but ask. On Earth, her brother could fly. She thought that her brother was the best. After coming to the Yixing mainland, she realized that there were many cultivators more powerful than her big brother. "Luofei, Ruolan, you don't have to worry, even if that sea-opening realm guy came to the Tsanglu city, I would not be afraid. What's more, he is definitely in seclusion right now. Even if he comes out of seclusion, it would still take at least a few months for him to come here. We can stay in the Tsanglu city for a few months to cultivate. As long as Luofei does not leave, I believe that no one would take the initiative to come looking for us." Ning Cheng grabbed Ji Luofei's hand and comforted her. "Do you know who it is?" Ji Luofei asked in a trembling voice. Ning Cheng nodded. "I suspect that if they came looking for you, it would most likely be because of me. If my guess is correct, then the one eyeing you is most likely Gue Feng from the Gue Yuan city." "Big brother, that pervert." Ning Rulin's voice trembled. She and her big brother were together, so of course she had heard about the matter of Gue Feng from Na Xinlan. She had also seen those undergarments and knew about the power of hope. She had always thought that these things were far away from her, but she did not expect that they would suddenly appear in front of her. Ji Luofei felt a little worried about Ning Cheng's cultivation, however, she did not say it out loud. "Let's put aside the matter of revenge for the Ning clan for now. Yuefeng and Heng Ho are back, they should have found a place to live. We will now move to a new place, I want to go into seclusion and cultivate." Ning Cheng stood up. Although he was not afraid of ordinary cultivators in the sea-opening realm, but the Gue clan still had crucible transformation cultivators. Now that Meng Jingxiu had left him 3 crystal stones, he was confident that he could advance his cultivation to the next step. As for the effect of the crystal stones for cultivation, Ning Cheng was very clear about it. There was absolutely no pill or spirit stone that could compare to it. "Big brother Ning, we have found the house." Yang Hongho's loud voice arrived. It was obvious that he was very satisfied with the house they had found. After the 5 people left the stone house, no one came looking for them. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness saw a profound core cultivator staring at them, but this profound core cultivator did not come forward. The other party did not make a move, and Ning Cheng also did not take the initiative to make a move. He knew that the other party was somewhat afraid of him. As long as he did not leave the Tsanglu city, then they would not make a move. There were 2 profound core cultivators in the Tsanglu city. For the capital of the Tsangqin province, a single profound core cultivator was enough to destroy the entire country, not to mention 2 people. If Ning Cheng wanted to kill these 2 profound core cultivators, then it would not take much effort at all. He knew that now was not the time to kill people. Even if he wanted to, he would wait for others to find him first. During this period of time, he had to improve his own cultivation. The residence that Yang Hongho and Nan Yuefang found was indeed very good. It had a huge front yard, surrounded by more than a dozen houses. In addition to this, there was also a large backyard. The backyard was verdant, and even had a garden and a pond. This kind of residence in the Tsanglu city would definitely have a sky-high price, but for Yang Hongho, who had hundreds of thousands of high-grade spirit stones, he could purchase countless of such courtyards. Ning Cheng first arranged a spiritual gathering array here, while simultaneously arranging a defensive array and a trap and kill array outside the courtyard. These were all just in case. He did not care about the 2 profound core cultivators, but Nan Yuefang and the others could not help but care about it. Besides Gray Toot Toot, who was released by Ning Cheng, at this time everyone else was in secluded cultivation. Ji Luofei had only obtained a cultivation method from the white-haired old woman, as for the cultivation resources that she had obtained from Ning Cheng's new ring. In addition to the millions of spirit stones in the ring, there were also piles of pills and some cultivation guides. Almost on the same night that she obtained these things, Ji Luofei advanced to the essence-building realm. At this time, Ning Cheng came to her side. She did not have any distractions in her heart, coupled with the abundant resources, her cultivation rapidly rose. The crystal stones that Meng Jingxiu left behind for Ning Cheng did not disappoint Ning Cheng. Originally Ning Cheng's cultivation progress was very slow when he used the spirit stones, but at this time his cultivation speed could be described as a hurricane. His cultivation continued to advance at a rapid pace, the mysterious yellow origin inside the mysterious yellow bead, under this kind of violent absorption of spiritual qi, also became very active. Ning Cheng's entire person was immersed in a completely oblivious state of cultivation. He had a vague feeling that the thing that was being absorbed from the crystal stone was not spiritual qi, rather it was something that was several levels higher than spiritual qi. Ordinary spiritual qi could be absorbed and transformed into true essence, allowing one to improve one's cultivation. But once he absorbed the spiritual qi from the crystal stones, not only would he be able to rapidly improve his cultivation, but he would also be able to gain some kind of enlightenment. As for what kind of enlightenment it was, he was not clear about it. It was as if in addition to the improvement in his cultivation, he had also gained some understanding of the usage of magical techniques. This crystal stone was definitely a top-grade cultivation treasure. After Ning Cheng understood this point, he crazily absorbed the crystal stones for his cultivation, putting everything aside. In just 6 days or so, with the help of the mysterious yellow origin and the crystal stones, Ning Cheng advanced to the 6th level of the soul sculpting realm. Half a month later, Ning Cheng advanced to the 7th level of the soul sculpting realm. A month later, Ning Cheng advanced to the 8th level of the soul sculpting realm. When the crystal stones in Ning Cheng's hands finally cracked, Ning Cheng's cultivation stabilized at the peak of the 9th level of the soul sculpting realm. This was already the 40th day of his secluded cultivation in the Tsangla city. Ning Cheng did not continue to use the crystal stones for his cultivation, rather he used 10 days to stabilize his cultivation, before he finally stood up. Ning Cheng swept out with his spiritual consciousness and found Gray Toot Toot sitting on a rockery in the backyard, squinting his eyes as he basked in the sun. Ning Rulan already had the cultivation of true condensation first level. Nan Yuefang was at the great circle of the profound congealing realm, and was preparing to attack the profound core realm, while Ji Luofei was at the essence building second level. The only one who was a bit slower was Yang Honghua, but with the help of Ning Cheng's spiritual gathering array and the pills and spirit stones, he was on the verge of breaking through to the essence building first level and advancing to the essence building second level. It had been almost 2 months since he arrived in the Tsangla city, and Ning Cheng knew that if Guo Feng wanted to come to the Tsangla city, then it should be soon. He decided to leave the Tsangla city and attack the sea opening realm alone. He had some void-cleaving pills, although the void-cleaving pill was a rank 7 pill, but this kind of pill was not the best pill for attacking the sea opening realm. Unfortunately, although Ning Cheng had a lot of rank 7 and rank 8 pills on him, he was still unable to refine a rank 8 pill. It was not that he could not do it, but rather he did not have enough time. At this time, he certainly would not use his time to refine pills. This made Ning Cheng very depressed, as his alchemy level was always a step behind his cultivation. Whenever he needed a higher level pill, his alchemy level simply could not keep up. For Ning Cheng, the best place to attack the thunder tribulation in the Ping continent was the Dawn Forest. Ning Cheng had come to the Dawn Forest once before, but at that time his cultivation was still very low. With his current cultivation, in the Dawn Forest, it was as safe as his own backyard. Ning Cheng chose an open space and arranged a spiritual gathering array. He was ready to cross the tribulation here. Even if Ning Cheng's cultivation had reached the great circle of the soul-sculpting realm, but under the influence of the spiritual gathering array that he had arranged with nearly 100 million spirit stones, Ning Cheng still felt the difficulty of attacking the sea-opening realm's cultivation barrier. He could only touch the cultivation barrier, but when he tried to attack it, he simply did not have the strength to do so. Several void-cleaving pills were swallowed by Ning Cheng at once. The formidable spiritual power of the void-cleaving pills immediately burst into flames within Ning Cheng's body, just like a flood of spiritual power that had just broken through a dam. Ning Cheng forcibly suppressed the discomfort of his spiritual power, as he rolled up all of his spiritual power and once again rushed towards the sea-opening realm's cultivation barrier. Bang! Bursts of tremors spread out, as Ning Cheng's entire mind was struck by the formidable impact, causing him to feel somewhat dizzy. However, the formidable cultivation barrier made it impossible for him to cross it. Ning Cheng gave out a dark sigh in his heart. His heritage was simply too weak, and he almost never had the time to accumulate his heritage, and had always been advancing by leaps and bounds. If not for the mysterious yellow origin and his formidable body-forging physique, he might not have been able to withstand this kind of rapid progress in his cultivation. Regardless of whether he could break through the bottleneck and advance to the sea-opening realm, Ning Cheng had already made up his mind that he would spend a lot of time to consolidate his cultivation. As for the matter of advancing to the crucible transformation realm, he decided to put it aside for the time being. Chapter 400. The second impact of the void-cleaving pill was significantly smaller. Ning Cheng immediately realized that relying on the void-cleaving pill to attack the sea-opening realm was just a delusion. He did not hesitate and took out the remaining 2 crystal stones. If he did not use these 2 crystal stones to break through the bottleneck, but instead kept them for his slow cultivation, coupled with the spirit stones, Ning Cheng was confident that he could cultivate to the late stages of the sea-opening realm. Even breaking through to the crucible transformation realm was not impossible. Unfortunately, he did not have any higher-grade medicinal pills, nor did he have any better heavenly treasures. As such, he could only rely on these 2 crystal stones to break through to the sea-opening realm. Although 1 crystal stone could help him break through, but according to Ning Cheng's cultivation experience, using 1 crystal stone to break through to the sea-opening realm was still somewhat difficult. Ning Cheng attached the 2 crystal stones to his dantian. Under the operation of the mysterious yellow formless cultivation method, a violent spiritual power surged out like a raging wave towards the sea-opening realm's cultivation barrier. The spiritual power flowing out from the crystal stones, under the powerful cultivation method, was not as slow as Ning Cheng's usual cultivation. Boom! As the 2 crystal stones' spiritual power surged down, Ning Cheng felt that his rank 5 imperial body was unable to bear it. Blood started to seep out from his body. The incomparably violent spiritual power within his dantian could not find an outlet. It felt as if it would tear his entire body apart in the next moment. Ning Cheng spouted out a mouthful of blood, while crazily absorbing the spiritual power from the crystal stones to break through the cultivation barrier. He was sure that no one would be as crazy as him when trying to break through the cultivation bottleneck. Absorbing such a terrifying amount of spiritual power, Ning Cheng only had one path, that is, to break through to the sea-opening realm. Otherwise, he would die. This crystal stone's spiritual power was incomparably violent, moreover, it did not have even half a point of harmony. This was not a medicinal pill. Medicinal pills paid particular attention to harmony. Even if one failed to break through, there would be very little life-threatening danger. However, Ning Cheng wanted to use this crystal stone to break through the cultivation barrier, which was tantamount to meeting force with force. Apart from using his body to resist, there was no other way. Breaking through to the sea-opening realm's cultivation, even if he had a rank 5 imperial body, it would not be impossible. Ning Cheng hardened his heart to break through this cultivation barrier. Even if the spiritual power within his body had reached an extreme, he still crazily absorbed spiritual power, again and again. Once, twice. With Ning Cheng's continuous attacks, although the barrier to his cultivation had loosened a bit, the accumulated spiritual power in his body had become even more terrifying. The surface of his body was completely dyed red by beads of blood. It seemed that in the next moment, his body would explode from the spiritual power. Fortunately, when Ning Cheng refined his body in the sifting orchid star, he had already experienced a pain that was not any weaker than this. As such, he could still endure it. As long as he could endure it, he would not die. Boom 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 boom. The entire sky turned gloomy as Ning Cheng continued to crazily attack the barrier to the sea opening realm. He knew that the lightning tribulation was about to arrive. The reason why it was so difficult for him to break through to the sea expansion realm was not because of his poor aptitude. Instead, it was because his foundation was simply too thin. At this time, he was completely relying on the mysterious yellow origin to forcibly advance. Otherwise, with his foundation, if he wanted to advance to the sea opening realm, it would have taken him at least 2 years. Ka-ka. 9 thick lightning arcs descended, followed by a thunder waterfall. However, Ning Cheng did not bring out the everlasting blue thunder city. He had the cultivation of a king's body refinement. He wanted to see if he could withstand this kind of lightning. His body was completely filled with spiritual power. Even if he could not withstand it, the huge amount of spiritual power in his body could support him in blocking the lightning tribulation. Peng peng. Puff puff. The 9 lightning arcs exploded on Ning Cheng's body, splashing out bursts of bloody mist. Catcha. The sound of bones breaking resounded, causing Ning Cheng's heart to sink. He found that he was wrong. The spiritual power in his body and the external lightning tribulation were 2 different things. The spiritual power in his body had not yet transformed into his strength, so it was absolutely impossible for him to block this lightning tribulation. Although his body refining cultivation method could reduce the damage to him, and could even quickly strengthen his corporeal body, the speed and intensity of this lightning tribulation were just too great. Not waiting for his body refining cultivation method to repair his corporeal body, the lightning tribulation had already completely exploded on his body. Seeing that the large thunder waterfall was about to descend, Ning Cheng knew that he absolutely could not resist it. Otherwise, he would die without a doubt. At this time, a trace of blue-colored spiritual source suddenly appeared in Ning Cheng's meridians. This spiritual source was quickly absorbed by him. Moreover, after absorbing this spiritual source, his cultivation instantly increased by a level. Catcha. With a sound, the cultivation barrier to the sea opening realm unexpectedly cracked open. Ning Cheng's brain buzzed. Unexpectedly he did not have enough time to bring out the everlasting blue thunder city. The next moment, the large thunder waterfall fell on Ning Cheng's body, causing Ning Cheng's body to shake. Not waiting for him to actively circulate his cultivation method, the mysterious yellow formless automatically revolved. That large thunder waterfall fell on his body, causing large chunks of flesh and blood to fly off. However, the excess thunder waterfall was once again absorbed by him, turning into a blue spiritual source, causing his cultivation to once again crazily soar. A mysterious feeling welled up in Ning Cheng's heart. At this moment, he almost could not believe his own feelings. He could feel his own spiritual roots. He found that he already had fire, water, wood, ice, wind and thunder spiritual roots. Ning Cheng once again forcibly checked his sea of consciousness. That's right, in his sea of consciousness, there was a spiritual aura of fire, water, wood, ice, wind and thunder. The spiritual aura of thunder was the smallest, but as he continued to absorb the blue spiritual source, the spiritual aura of thunder gradually grew, while his cultivation also gradually rose. Ning Cheng instantly understood that the blue spiritual source was the thunder origin. With the thunder spiritual roots, he could now absorb the thunder origin. His spiritual roots really were rising at every moment. Moreover, he could even see it, causing Ning Cheng to feel pleasantly surprised. He was sure that not many people could see their spiritual roots, yet he could actually do it. Boom boom boom. Once again, large thunder arcs fell, causing Ning Cheng to sober up. He was still in the midst of crossing the tribulation. After his cultivation rose, Ning Qing felt that the violent spiritual power within his body had become much weaker. Once again, large thunder arcs and thunder waterfall fell on Ning Cheng's body. Ning Cheng was even more unwilling to bring out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Even if his body was destroyed beyond recognition, he still wanted to absorb this lightning source. Only by absorbing this thunder origin would his cultivation rise, giving him the opportunity to advance to the sea-opening realm. Otherwise, once his corporeal body collapsed under the impact of the two crystal stones, he would be finished. It was not a matter of his corporeal body shattering, but a matter of losing his life. The spiritual power within the two crystal stones was like an overturned ocean, coupled with the seemingly endless thunder origin, it crashed into the sea-opening realm's cultivation barrier. Boom! The originally cracked cultivation barrier suddenly opened up, as if a brand new door had appeared in front of Ning Cheng. A powerful force filled his entire body, the spiritual power that was about to burst his body instantly flowed through his meridians, transforming into true essence cultivation. The tribulation thunder in the sky continued, but Ning Cheng knew that he no longer feared this kind of thunder tribulation. He did not even try to avoid it, as he crazily absorbed the crystal stones to consolidate his cultivation. At the same time, he also crazily absorbed the thunder origin to strengthen his thunder spiritual roots. If there was anyone who dared to immerse themselves in cultivation while crossing the tribulation, it would definitely be Ning Cheng. At this time, he let the tribulation thunder arcs bombard his body, while he continued to absorb the spiritual chi and the thunder origin for his cultivation. The mysterious yellow origin also became active at this moment, as it filled Ning Cheng's meridians, cooperating with Ning Cheng's cultivation method for his cultivation. His previously battered corporeal body was also recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Although the surface of his body looked very frightening, in fact, it was just a layer of blood foam. Not knowing how long it took, the two crystal stones finally turned into powder, as Ning Cheng suddenly opened his eyes. The thunder tribulation had already disappeared, as the area around him had turned into nothingness. The powerful strength made Ning Cheng unable to bear it, he finally had the capital to contend with a crucible transformation cultivator. Just after crossing the tribulation, he was already at the peak of the first level of sea-opening realm. Who is it? Ning Cheng suddenly paused, as he stared into the depths of the dawn forest. Crossing a small tribulation, it seems like you want to break through the universe. This is the first time that I have seen such a boring person like you. A silvery bell-like voice suddenly arrived, the next moment a woman wearing a red robe appeared in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's heart tightened, this woman gave people the feeling that she was not young. However, her porcelain doll face seemed to be telling others that she was not that old. Not only did she have a porcelain doll face, but her skin was also smooth and white, as if it would break with a single blow. Her pair of big and bright eyes stared at Ning Cheng, sizing him up from top to bottom. Ning Cheng discovered that the clothes on his body had been completely turned into rags by the thunder tribulation and the spiritual power of the two crystal stones. These rags were hanging on his body, making him look like a beggar with no clothes to cover his body. Ning Cheng knew that he should wash himself and then change into a clean set of clothes, but he did not dare to do so. This red-robed woman looked like a porcelain doll, but she gave him a very dangerous feeling, he even suspected that he was not her opponent. I want to change my clothes, you get out of the way. Ning Cheng stared at the red-robed woman and spoke in a deep voice, he did not feel shy at all. Not to mention that he still had some rags covering his body, even if the rags on his body were completely gone, he would not feel shy at all. Facing a woman whose intuition told him that she was very dangerous, Ning Cheng did not dare to make even half a move, he was even ready to bring out his 36 cosmic true devil axes at any time. Does this dawn forest belong to your family? I want to stay here and watch, whether you change your clothes or not, what does it have to do with me? The red-robed woman spoke in a casual manner, while her eyes constantly swept over Ning Cheng's body. Ning Cheng slowly retreated, he soon found that no matter how much he retreated, this woman would always come forward, giving him a kind of vague threat. Ning Qing swept out with his spiritual consciousness. He guessed that if this woman wanted to make a move, then she would definitely make a move the moment he put on his clothes. He wanted to see if there was anything in the surroundings that he could take advantage of. Luofei. Ning Qing was shocked in his heart. Why did Luofei come here? After his spiritual consciousness saw Ji Luofei, Ning Qing no longer cared about this woman, and rushed in front of Luofei in a flash. Luofei's cultivation was too poor. He did not dare to let this red-robed woman harm Luofei even in the slightest. It turned out to be true. Woo-woo. Ji Luofei saw Ning Qing covered in blood, with his clothes not even covering his body as he fell in front of her, and could not help but hug Ning Qing and cry. Ning Qing's heart jumped. He guessed that the red-robed woman was about to make a move, but he found that he could not even see the shadow of that red-robed woman in his spiritual consciousness. Chapter 401. This kind of collapse would cause everything to come to a standstill. At this time, the person who brought out this spirit technique would erupt with flames, turning everything in the middle of this fire elemental collapse into powder. Ning Qing calmed his mind, as he concentrated his entire consciousness into these images. A woman in a red robe brought me here. She said that you were fighting with people, and that it was very dangerous. Even your clothes were blown away, and I became very anxious, so. Ji Luofei spoke while taking out a white towel to wipe the blood off Ning Qing's body. Not knowing for how long, Ning Qing once again opened his eyes. The jade simplification that Sung Wei had given him had turned into flying ash, without any trace left behind. This spiritual technique could only be comprehended once. If one could not comprehend it once, then one would not have the opportunity to comprehend it a second time. This spiritual technique was called maximal flame. Ning Qing did not need to guess to understand what was going on. Sung Wei must have known that he had a good fire seed, as such he gave him the maximal flame spiritual technique. After advancing to the sea opening realm, Ning Qing was already thinking about how to tell Ji Luofei about Shi Qianghua. He was thinking that it would be best for the two of them to get married. Ning Qing, on seeing that his array formation was not damaged, immediately understood that the woman in red robes was not simple. His array formation was a rank 6 defensive array formation, and the other party could freely enter and exit this array formation, which showed that her strength was not ordinary. However, this woman's actions were somewhat irrational, as it was not really harmful to him. Ning Qing did not care about it. Ning Qing held Ji Luofei in his arms, but he still felt some fear. Not to mention that he did not know if he could beat that woman. If that woman used Luofei to threaten him, what would he do? After returning to his residence, Nan Yuefang and the other two were still in secluded cultivation. That woman in red robes did not come again, as if this matter had never happened. Time passed by slowly, and in a blink of an eye, Ning Qing went into seclusion for another month. Ning Qing's mind was still flashing with those images. Saying that, Ning Qing quickly used the clear water technique and the dirt removal technique on himself. Soon, he cleaned up all the dirt on his body, while changing into a clean set of clothes. Ning Qing picked up Ji Luofei, and with a wave of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, they quickly rushed out of the dawn forest. Hearing Ji Luofei's words, he lowered his head and kissed Luofei in his arms, but before that, I have one more thing to tell you. Just when Ning Qing felt that his entire body was being squeezed dry, bang! A terrifying explosion erupted. Ning Qing saw a flame sweep past his eyes, and the next moment he directly sat down on the ground. No, with her cultivation level, she wouldn't need to do that to deal with Rulan and the others. There's no need to call you here. But let's go back quickly. Although he knew that Rulan and the others would not have any problems, Ning Qing still felt a little worried about this mysterious woman. At this moment, he couldn't even move. His divine sense was exhausted, and his true essence had dried up. Even the strength of his body had disappeared without a trace. Ji Luofei, who was watching from the side, also felt that something was wrong. She had definitely been deceived by someone. He wasn't in a hurry to do all this. He still had a divine ability Jade Slip. At this time, he had already advanced to the first level of the sea-opening realm. As such, he could now study the spiritual technique jade strip that elder brother Tsang Wei had given him. Ning Qing felt overjoyed in his heart. He was just about to speak when he suddenly frowned. He immediately took out the jade box with the spiritual consciousness tag. He knew that Gui Feng had arrived. This fellow's arrival was just too coincidental. It was as if he had grasped the moment he cast his spiritual technique. Ha! Ji Luofei wiped off some of the blood and immediately understood. Ning Cheng's body looked like it was covered in blood, however, after wiping it off, it revealed a healthy and smooth skin underneath. Big brother, don't you only need to circulate your heavenly cycle for cultivation? Did your pill furnace explode while you were performing alchemy? Ning Rulan looked at the huge crater in front of her and asked in amazement. She couldn't help but think that even if it was a pill furnace exploding, it wouldn't cause such a terrible scene, right? His celestial river qi had cracked a bit, and some faint flames had appeared. However, Ning Cheng had already experienced the might of a celestial river qi. However, his celestial river qi had not yet fully formed. Therefore, even if he successfully cast the maximal flame spiritual technique, it would not cause much of an impact. By the time Ji Luofei stepped forward and helped Ning Cheng up, Ning Cheng had already recovered some of his strength. He swallowed a few medicinal pills and spoke with some embarrassment. My cultivation just now caused too much of a commotion, which made it impossible for you to cultivate. The maximal flame spiritual technique required a fire seed. Moreover, when this fire seed was brought out, it would also communicate with the surrounding heaven and earth. Then, in the shortest possible time, it would sweep away all the surrounding fire elements. The fire elements that were swept away would then be added to the fire seed, and in a very short period of time, it would cause the fire elements in the surrounding space to disappear, creating a false spatial collapse. Ning Cheng's thoughts fell on the fire seed in his sea of consciousness. Finally, he could not help but want to give it a try. The finger ends in the firewood, the fire transmission, I do not know the end of it. But if it were to pour out, its might would definitely kill. In a flash of lightning, the most important point of casting the maximal flame spiritual technique was to use the disappearance of the fire elements to create the false appearance of a spatial collapse. In fact, this was not a spatial collapse, but as long as it created this false appearance of a spatial collapse, as long as one grasped the moment of the false spatial collapse, it would basically be a success. The room, which was still intact a moment ago, had turned into nothingness. There was nothing left in the room, even the soil had been burnt away, leaving behind a huge hole. Fortunately, apart from the scope of the maximal flames explosion, nothing else would be affected. However, this spiritual technique, in addition to the fire seed, also required a powerful true essence and spiritual consciousness. After Ning Qing cleaned himself up and changed into a new set of clothes, he felt refreshed. He took Ji Luofei into his arms and spoke, "Don't trust others so easily next time. I don't know what that woman meant. If she had any malicious intent, then I estimate that you would be in danger." Ning Qing stood up and brought out the celestial river sword. At the same time, he also started to circulate his spiritual consciousness around him. Ning Qing also quickly understood the meaning of the last sentence. It meant that if he did not let the fire seed slowly spread out, but let all the fire seed explode out at once, the power would be enough to kill his opponent. In a flash of lightning, there were no more pointers. Just when Ning Cheng was feeling anxious, a scene suddenly appeared in his mind. These images were like electric lights that formed in Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness, and then flashed rapidly. Big brother. Ning Rulan and Ji Luofei's voices arrived almost at the same time. Immediately, Ning Rulan, Ji Luofei, Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua ran over. Ning Cheng's movements were simply too big. Even Grey Toot Toot also ran over, looking at Ning Cheng's room in shock. Ning Cheng. Ji Luofei hugged Ning Cheng, thinking of Ning Cheng's appearance a moment ago, her tone turned even softer. A passage of words appeared in Ning Cheng's mind. Ning Cheng guarded his mind, without any distractions. He understood the meaning of the first part of the sentence. It referred to the fact that the burning of the candle was limited, but the fire seed had an endless amount of time. At this moment, Ning Cheng's surroundings suddenly turned scorching hot. In just a moment, the celestial river sword that he brought out issued a "catcha" sound. The outer shell that wrapped the celestial river seed was instantly swallowed up by a soybean-sized flame. Not only that, the scorching heat in the surroundings seemed to have been completely swept away by the celestial river at this moment. "I'll listen to you." Ji Luofei gave an "n" sound, and no longer spoke. She felt safe and happy, and no longer had anything to worry about. Those scenes seemed to have flashed to the end, when suddenly with a "catcha" sound, they all melted away. Unconsciously, Ning Cheng had already connected these scenes together. Although he had advanced to the first level of Sea Opening Realm, Ning Cheng still did not kill the two profound core cultivators, nor did he go to the Changqing province to rescue the women under the restrictions. After leaving the Ping continent, she wanted to ask Ning Cheng to take her to the depths of the Dawn Forest to find her father. In the past, her father was also lost in the Dawn Forest. Regardless of whether she could find him or not, after paying her respects to her father, she would leave with Ning Cheng, and go anywhere. After all, he and Ji Luofei were engaged. He did not know if Ji Luofei would be angry about this matter. If Luofei was angry, then he really did not know what to do. "Let's go back and get married, right?" Ji Luofei's face turned a little red. She could feel Ning Cheng's thoughts. Fortunately, Luofei was fine. He really did not understand what that woman wanted to do. Ning Cheng quickly asked, "Why did you come here?" Ning Cheng suddenly felt an illusion, as if his surroundings had completely collapsed, as if the space in front of him had disappeared. The true essence and spiritual consciousness in his body was just like a river bursting its banks, crazily rushing out. Ning Cheng saw the tenderness in Ji Luofei's eyes, and could not help but kiss her. Ji Luofei's whole body turned soft, as she lost herself in Ning Cheng's arms. She and Ning Cheng had already kissed once, as such this time they would not repeat it, as the two of them found it even more difficult to control themselves. After Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the spiritual technique Jade Strip, he found that the Jade Strip did not contain even a single word. Just as Ning Cheng was feeling puzzled, a powerful thought suddenly blasted into Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness. Ning Cheng secretly rejoiced that he had only started to read this Jade Strip after reaching the Sea Opening Realm. Otherwise, he would have never been able to comprehend this spiritual technique in the soul sculpting realm. Ji Luofei soon felt Ning Cheng's fiery passion, and was just about to speak, when suddenly a voice arrived. "Hee, you really don't know how to be shy. The two of you are so affectionate outside, moreover in broad daylight, it's really shameful." Ning Cheng could feel the celestial river in his zifu. The celestial river had now completely come out, just like a soybean suspended in the middle of his zifu. Even now, he only knew a little bit about it. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, but could only see a red shadow quickly disappearing. Such a ferocious spiritual technique. Ning Cheng secretly marveled in his heart. Fortunately he had tried it out. Otherwise, if he had suddenly used the maximal flame spiritual technique in a fight with his opponent, if he did not manage to kill his opponent, then he would have to wait for his death. Even with his powerful true essence and spiritual consciousness blasting out, it only caused the false space to collapse for less than a breath. Ji Luofei immediately sobered up from that fiery tenderness. She was not shy, but spoke with some anxiousness. Would that woman go and deal with Rulan? Ning Cheng quickly spoke up. "I was just surmounting my tribulation here, and did not fight with anyone. That person must have lied to you. I will change into another set first." You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.